Chapter 1621, Chapter 1621, First Clear of Super Divine, 2. Chapter 1621, First Clear of Super Divine, 2. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. You're worried about that battleship, right? At this moment, Benos had already changed several forms. Now, it had turned into the form of a huge dark squid floating in the chaotic turbid mist. Hundreds of dense eyes were incomparably terrifying. With a wave of its tentacles, several meteorites had already been blown up. This time, it looked at the retreating Susu and didn't choose to continue chasing. Instead, it looked at Ling and stretched out its huge tentacles, constantly spreading and enlarging as it whipped at the battleship that had been dodging the battle from the beginning to the end. Ning! No! Seeing this, Susu's pupils constricted. Ning! You're mine! It shouted anxiously and said something that Benos didn't understand. At this moment, Susu was just about to stop Benos from attacking Ling, causing its head to be snatched away. However, the corrosion of the curse that it had never cared about previously deepened again, making Susu, the cleansing star spirit, almost fall. This time, the huge power of the abyss corroded over, forcing Susu to quickly divert its energy to cleanse itself. If it wasn't cleansed immediately, even it would be infested. At this moment, a sigh came from the battleship in the face of the attack. It still failed. It wasn't that the hunt for the Super Divine had failed, but that Susu had failed to hunt the Super Divine alone. In the captain's room, under the anxious expression of beast tamer Yu Ling, a summoning array appeared beside Shi Yu. Yu Ling had never seen such a situation because the person who appeared in the summoning array was a person. Was this a human? She couldn't say for sure. In any case, she only saw that, under Shi Yu's summoning, a creature in platinum armor with a handsome face and black hair fluttered was summoned. It held the shield sword and disappeared from the captain's room with a leap, appearing in the void. His appearance attracted the attention of everyone. There's someone else. It attracted the attention of the Environmental Protection Army's reconnaissance team. After seeing Susu retreat step by step, their hearts were already in their throats. They even wanted to go out to support, but their rationality made them stop their stupid actions. With their strength, facing a Super Divine, they were just tempting fate. The only thing they could look forward to was that there were other battle powers in the battleship, or that the Environmental Protection Army headquarters had sensed the situation here and sent reinforcements. As if looking forward to the effect, Beast Shi Yu appeared. Seeing the human who appeared outside, the Super Divine was stunned, but he still continued to attack. But in the next moment, a shocking scene appeared. The armored young man outside the battleship only swung his sword with pity in his eyes. In an instant, an incomparably terrifying sword light instantly severed the Super Divine whiskers and streaked further away without disappearing. The white abyss lightning beast in the battle with Ducky only felt a light up in front of it. In the next moment, its body collapsed, turning into a blood mist that filled the sky and was shattered by the sword aura. Ducky took a step back and exclaimed. The sword light didn't stop and was still slashing at Benos' Super Divine body, making him shocked and furious. Super Divine! It roared in disbelief. Why? Why did a Super Divine appear in the battleship now? Moreover, this was definitely not a new Super Divine. It definitely had the strength of a Transcendent 3. It was stronger than him. The appearance of Beast Shi Yu directly made Benos' mentality unbalanced, and it also made the scout of the Environmental Protection Army open his mouth wide. It even shocked the extremely nervous Yu Ling. She looked at the captain of the Era pirate group, who had been calm the whole time. At this moment, Shi Yu also stepped out of the battleship and appeared in the starry sky. He appeared on the battleship and looked in Susu's direction. Susu, try again next time. I'll come back first this time. We should go. His voice was soft as he summoned Susu. Ning, however, the current Susu was extremely stubborn. After slightly cleansing the curse, its eyes were still filled with battle intent, not wanting to give up. I want to defeat it. I want to obtain the Super Divine will. In Susu's gaze, the Abyss Super Divine had already been slashed into pieces by Beast Qiyu Sword Light. Its entire body was covered in blood, and it let out a painful wail. This was the first time the Abyss Super Divine had suffered such a serious injury. It was mainly because the attack just now was indeed powerful. With the support of the 4 holy pets, Beast Qiyu spent a lot of power of faith and displayed a full-strength attack comparable to that of a Transcendent 3. There's no hurry, Qiyu comforted Susu. There was still time. Ning. Do you know why I'm paying special attention to you? Ning. Because you have a very strong will. This is your talent, your shining point. Susu repeated what Qiyu had said when it contracted it. It was very indignant. When it joined the team, it was the only pet with the will of an overlord. However, in the team, it couldn't defeat anyone. Until now, it had never been fated to be the strongest in the team. Now, there was finally something that seemed to be able to use its shining point. If it still failed, Susu couldn't accept it. She hoped that, at least at the shining point, she could always obtain Qiyu's highest evaluation. Therefore, she prayed that Qiyu would take back Beast Qiyu and let her and the Abyss Super Divine carry out the final battle. She would definitely win. Qiyu shook his head speechlessly on the battleship. He couldn't do anything to the stubborn Susu. Susu, did you make a mistake? The Super Divine Will required one to have the Super Will to defeat the Super Divine Will and protect the Sea of Stars, not to obtain its recognition. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1622, Chapter 1622, First Clear of Super Divine, 3. Chapter 1622, First Clear of Super Divine, 3. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. However, Qiyu didn't expect that unknowingly, his position in Susu's heart might even be more important than guarding the Sea of Stars. Forget it. All right then, but this time, I'll fight side by side with you, Qiyu said. He summoned Beast Qiyu back and retreated behind him. At the same time, the phantoms of the heavens that were equivalent to the peak of the divine level appeared behind Qiyu. Substantial blue mental fluctuations spread throughout Qiyu's body, filling him with holy light. This can at least be done, right? Susu, let's enter the psychic resonance state. After Qiyu finished speaking, Susu, who was in the distance, was very pleasantly surprised. It nodded heavily, and its entire body also emitted a blue holy light. It was strengthened by Qiyu, who was at the peak of the divine level. At this moment, the power on its body directly surged continuously, attracting Benos' attention. Damn it, under the recovery of the Abyss Super Divine, Benos looked crazily at the 2 new figures that appeared in the direction of the battleship and also at the cleansing star spirit that seemed to have been reborn. I want to defeat you. In order to not disappoint the Beast Tamer's trust. Susu floated up again. Moreover, what made Susu feel a little incredulous was that after entering the psychic resonance state with Qiyu, its star C contract level and its will level had loosened. Qiyu was also slightly stunned as he sensed the change in Susu. Although he didn't know the principle, Qiyu was pleasantly surprised to feel that Susu had improved. Susu, let's defeat it together. The chances are very high this time. Let's do our best. Ning. Susu's eyes were firm. At this moment, the level of its will finally underwent an extreme sublimation. From the previous overlord will to the Super Divine Will, an invisible and invincible Super Divine Heart similar to the Heart of God condensed in Susu's body. Under the lead of the Super Divine Will, Susu's Star C contract directly broke through the original restrictions and finally reached transcendence. In an instant, Susu felt that an incomparably vast starry sky world appeared in front of it. It could mobilize its power as much as it wanted. What happened? At this moment, the Abyss Super Divine, Benos, was also very confused. He felt that something seemed to have changed in this cleansing star spirit. Was it because of the enhancement of the Beast Tamer? He never expected such a strong cleansing star spirit and Beast Tamer. If there was, why didn't he come out earlier? At this moment, he found it difficult to understand. But no matter what, the battle couldn't continue. This battlefield had to be abandoned. That human holding the shield sword was too terrifying. At the thought of this, most of its battle intent had already disappeared. It turned around and ran, planning to meet the other Super Divine Alliances first. However, Susu's shocking strength could finally be displayed at this moment. After having the Transcendent level Star C contract, its strength level finally increased to the Super Divine level. Moreover, there was a full strength increase from the Beast Tamer at this moment. Clear. With a thought, a terrifying cleansing light pierced through the abyssal shadow of the entire Scarlet Blue Star domain, making the pupils of Benos, who wanted to retreat, shrink. He suddenly turned around. No, impossible! Under its shocked cry, its body, which had already been heavily injured by Beast Shiyu, suffered another destructive cleansing. Under the wail of the Abyss Super Divine, its body disappeared bit by bit under the cleansing light. Under the shocked and stunned gaze of the Environmental Protection Association scout, the power of the Abyss Super Divine, Benos, also dissipated bit by bit. The entire Scarlet Blue Star domain seemed to be enveloped in endless cleansing light at this moment, and countless abyssal lands were cleansed. Seeing this scene, Yu Ling, the Gem Cat, and the Owl were stunned. He really did it. Yu Ling found it unbelievable. Were they really pirates? Did you see it? Did you see it? On the other side, the Gem Cat kept pushing the Owl. El saw it. Susu and Shiyu are so cool, the Owl shouted. I'm F** King asking if you saw the source of transcendence. Predict it for me. The Gem Cat wanted to beat this silly bird up. I'm making a wish for the source of transcendence to appear, the cat immediately said. Only then did the Owl react. It suddenly recalled the mission Shiyu had arranged for them. F***CK, I almost forgot. The Owl didn't expect the source of transcendence to appear this time. However, it didn't affect anything. Since fate had decided that it couldn't be used, it would use something else. Fate hasn't been decided. Its eye spun as time flew, trying to affect fate. At the same time, in the starry sky outside. Under the wail of the Abyss Super Divine, its body disappeared bit by bit. As the Star C contract reached transcendence, Susu could be considered to have come to the same level as the Abyss Super Divine. At the same level, when the cleansing star spirit faced the Abyss race, it was a fatal blow. Under endless wails, the Abyss Super Divine body finally disappeared completely. In its place was a sun-like source of transcendence floating in the starry sky. Seeing this scene, the scouts of the Environmental Protection Army swallowed their saliva crazily, their eyes filled with shock. Therefore, what was going on? Before their Environmental Protection Army could attack, an important fortress of the Dark King Army was destroyed just like. Now, they really wanted to send this news back. It would definitely shock the entire Environmental Protection Army. However, at this moment, what made them feel the most ridiculous was the source of transcendence and the person who was about to obtain it. Who exactly was this guy? Why had they never heard of the Era Pirate Group? Under their gazes, Shiyu held the Black Law Code in his hand and walked towards the weak Susu under the protection of Beast Shiyu. You've done very well. Ning. Susu was extremely happy. This way, she should be the strongest in the team now. However, when she saw the figure of Beast Shiyu, Susu's expression instantly darkened. Ning. She almost forgot about this guy. Damn it. Shiyu also smiled and said, but here's the problem. Everyone is happy. Then how should we arrange this source of transcendence? If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1623, Chapter 1623, Ownership of the Source of Transcendence, 1. Chapter 1623, Ownership of the Source of Transcendence, 1. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. The starry sky was silent as the battleship slowly drove towards Shiyu. Shiyu put away the source of transcendence first and waited for the distribution. Now, in the accompanying team, there were neither too many nor too few who could use the source of transcendence. He had to reach the peak of the divine level to refine the source of transcendence. The standard of a human beast tamer was at the 10th level of the divine level. The standard of a pet was a top-notch divine power level, which was also a top-notch divine. At the moment, he, the gem cat, and the owl had reached this standard. Of course, there was also Qi, Ling, Baby Ginseng, and Susu, but the premise was to break the contract first. There was another way, which was to send it to Dong Huang to help Lin Feng. As for how to do it, Shiyu still needed to consider it. After all, Goddess Wa had said that this source of transcendence wasn't perfect. Damn, why are you running so quickly? At this moment, Shiyu, who had put away the source of transcendence, looked in a certain direction. Not long after the battle began, Ling sensed that someone was secretly observing the battle. After Ling investigated, he realized that it might be a member of the Environmental Protection Army. Shiyu originally wanted to call them over to clean up the battlefield after the battle. Then, they would take Yu Ling away from the ship. In the end, just as this battle ended, these guys ran away. He had defeated a great demon king like the Abyss Super Divine. A heroic figure shouldn't be so scary, right? Shiyu looked at the dense pirate flags on the battleship in silence. Forget it, let's leave this place first and return to the Cosmic Sea with them. As for this place, Shiyu looked at Susu and said, "Are you all right?" Nink. In the starry sky, Susu nodded. Then, with the power of the Star Sea contract, it separated into countless cleansing clones and flew to various planets. As for its main body, it entered the battleship with Shiyu. At this moment, Ling already had the strength of an Epoch God. The threshold of the Epoch God's strength was equivalent to a super divine that exceeded Transcendent One. However, Susu's situation was a little biased. It was an Epoch God that had relied on the Star Sea contract to reach it. The Star Sea contract could only be used on polluted races under the Dark King, such as the Yun race, the Qi race, the Abyss race, the Flame race, and the Disaster race. Therefore, its strength level was even more fluctuating than that of other Epoch gods. If it faced these races, Susu could fight them even if it exceeded Transcendent 1 to 3. However, if it encountered other normal races, Susu, who didn't have the Star Sea contract, would still lose even if it faced Transcendent 1. Of course, if Susu ignored the backlash of the Star Sea contract and forcefully mobilized the power of the Sea of Stars, that would be a different story. In fact, this was nothing because Shiyu and the others realized that the so-called contract backlash was nothing more than losing level proficiency. At most, it would drop a little quickly, but it didn't matter. Although the skill level had fallen, it was equivalent to forgetting this skill and breaking the contract. Susu, who had skill points, was completely different from other cleansing star spirits. Other cleansing star spirits might cower because it would take a long time to increase a little skill proficiency, but Susu actually didn't need to care much. Now that it had the super divine will, it was easier to add points. If necessary, so be it. So be it. At most, it would add points again. In addition, Shiyu felt that Susu's biased situation wouldn't be long. After obtaining the super divine will, it meant that her other skills could also successfully be added to the transcendent level and above. Soon, she should be able to become a very comprehensive Epoch God of the skill type. Now, there was no doubt that the one with the strongest individual battle power in the team was Susu. He. Shiyu held Susu in his hand and pinched it as he returned to the battleship. "Everyone, gather in the conference room," Shiyu called out. Soon, everyone ran to the conference room. In the captain's room, Ling turned into a figure and looked at Yu Ling, who was limp in the corner, speechless. Seriously, this small scene was already scary. All right, if everything goes smoothly, the Scarlet Blue Star domain should be liberated. Go back to your room and rest first. Now's not the time for you to go back. We'll enter the Cosmic Sea from here and see if we can hand you over to the Environmental Protection Army. Well, you don't have to worry about your mother planet. Its clone has already gone everywhere to cleanse. There won't be any abyss remnants left. After saying that, Ling teleported the hesitant Yu Ling back to her room, while Ling herself headed to the conference room. Elle did it! Again! Yay! The gem cat and the owl hugged and celebrated in the conference room. It was unexpected. A trash transcendent too could also drop a source of transcendence. As expected, their combination with Ling was super invincible. Perhaps we can start a business in the future, super divine prayer. There will definitely be many powerful, divine-level people who place the order. I thought about it. For every prayer, I want 648 divine-level energy crystals, the gem cat said. Too little, too little. At least 10 sets of 648, the owl said. This is the source of transcendence. Don't look at how smooth our support for Shiyu is. That's because the more likely something happens, the smaller the consumption. Shiyu's luck was originally good, so our consumption wasn't high. But if it were anyone else, that might not be the case. We'll probably be half dead from the backlash. Then 10 sets. The two cats openly communicated about killing people. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1624, Chapter 1624, Ownership of the Source of Transcendence, 2. Chapter 1624, Ownership of the Source of Transcendence, 2. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Quiet, quiet. Shiyu sat down and placed the meritorious Susu beside baby Ginseng. After Susu broke through, because of the stronger Star C contract, its consumption quickly recovered, but its injuries weren't that fast. Next, it needed the help of the Ginseng baby very much. It probably needed to recuperate for a long time. Yee, yee. However, baby Ginseng pointed as it assisted, its anger burning. Because Susu whispered 7 words beside it. It directly broke baby Ginseng's defense. Your super divine first clear is gone. Baby Ginseng was furious. At the side, Buggy shook its head. This was the so-called version of a god. Firstly, let's congratulate Susu for breaking through to the Epoch God level. After this battle. After Shiyu finished speaking with a smile, the pets were overjoyed. Susu had succeeded. This meant that this path was feasible. Before long, it would definitely be their turn. Epoch God. The gem cat was also very eager. This was a legend on World King Planet. She was indeed right about Shiyu. He could do something that others couldn't do so easily. Ah. The owl also looked up at the sky and sighed. Before coming, Shiyu wanted Susu to challenge the Abyss Super Divine to try to break through. It originally felt that it was ridiculous. But from the looks of it, he had to learn from that cat in the future and slowly accept Shiyu's unscientificness. The current problem is the source of transcendence that just popped up, sure. You said. Come and brainstorm. How should we arrange it? Goddess WA said that the quality of the source of transcendence that erupted from others might be a little poor. I don't want to fuse it. How can I do it? Nink. Elle don't want it either. Susu turned around. She couldn't accept the source of transcendence that had fused with the Abyss Super Divine. Senior Lin Feng's breakthrough conditions are met, but I reckon that after hearing the disadvantages of this source of transcendence, he definitely doesn't want it either, so one won't consider him. Lin Feng. I'll wonder if I can fuse it for Beast Shiyu, but even if I can, it's a little of a loss. Moreover, my level is already very difficult to support higher-level Beast Shiyu. After Shiyu's analysis, 11 and the others shook their heads repeatedly. Although they yearned for the Super Divine, baby Ginseng, Ling, Qi, and the others didn't plan to want it. They had always wanted the best from Shiyu, and they didn't want to fuse with a low-quality source of transcendence to affect their future growth. Most importantly, if it wanted to fuse, it had to break the contract with Shiyu first. Although they could contract it again when Shiyu's level increased in the future, the pets basically didn't have this intention. Unless it was a special situation, the pets didn't want to break the contract with the beast tamer for the sake of strength. Moreover, the increase in battle power brought by skills fusion, skill deduction, and other functions wasn't necessarily inferior to a breakthrough. If the contract was broken, one wouldn't be able to enjoy these benefits. Also, Susu's path had already proven the feasibility of becoming an epoch god. Since there were other methods comparable to super divines, there was no need to pursue a low-quality source of transcendence. I want it, I want it. At this moment, Teacher Cat spoke. L don't care if the quality is low. The cat hit the table. Didn't Goddess Wa mean that after fusing with this source of transcendence, she might not be able to break through to the cosmic level? Putting aside whether this saying was supported or not, whether it was a rumor. It was just a wishing cat. How could it be so ambitious? Super divine level was already a level it dared to imagine previously. Me too. You don't want to. The gem cat reprimanded the owl and said, I came first. The owl. Although the owl wanted to see the gem cat say in despair, I was the one who, but it also felt that it was unrealistic. From a scientific perspective, with Teacher Ying's top-notch divine power, it can indeed refine the source of transcendence. Ling fell silent after analyzing. Shiyu also looked at the gem cat in silence. Really? I'm not purely trying to break through, the gem cat said. You can pursue perfection, kid, but how can there be so much perfection to pursue? Can you afford to wait for the transcendent origin that happens once in 100,000 years? Next, let me, a teacher, give you a lesson. I want to use this source of transcendence to study and experiment. With my own experience, I'll guide your future path. Let me see if one can use the wish skill to raise the quality of this source of transcendence to the highest. Everyone. That works. Shiyu was stunned. Why not? The gem cat took out a worn fruit knife from somewhere and placed it on the table. Then, she said to the fruit knife, I'll make a wish. Its quality will increase. In the next moment, starlight circled. The worn fruit knife directly turned from an ordinary object to a level 9 quasi-divine weapon, containing world-shaking golden light. Wow! Kai Tong's eyes lit up. Sure. Look, it's the same principle. At most, it's a little difficult to make a wish with the source of transcendence, but as long as I collect enough wish star inheritance, it shouldn't be a problem for me to reach the super divine level, right? This way, I can also try to make a wish to increase the quality of the low-quality source of transcendence that erupts in the future. In essence, all the sources of transcendence are naturally condensed from the universe at the start. It's only after they're fused that their quality gradually decreases. My wish only allows them to return to their original quality. This is very scientific. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1625, Chapter 1625, Ownership of the Source of Transcendence, 3. Chapter 1625, Ownership of the Source of Transcendence, 3. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Shiyu and the others? From a scientific perspective, it's very scientific, Ling said. Look. Why does that make sense? Shiyu fell into deep thought. Brilliant, we have another business. The owl looked at the cat. It finally knew why the star prayer race was exterminated before the astrologer race was exterminated. Their ability was too shameless. Very good, then I'll leave this source of transcendence to you to study, Shiyu said. Teacher Cat, I'll leave it to you. Yay! The gem cat was extremely excited. Saitilda, who would have thought that a super divine expert would actually appear in a small ancient capital university. The gem cat thought narcissistically. At the edge of the cosmic sea, void battlefield, Environmental Protection Army encampment. The Environmental Protection Army was the general name of the Cosmic Sea Army that fought against the pollution land. most of the members came from the various planets' environmental protection associations. Even the temporary soldiers from various planets and the various domains of the World King Planet were also called the Environmental Protection Army. Of course, apart from the Environmental Protection Army, there were also many mercenaries. The number of mercenaries from the Cosmic Overlord Army was the highest. At this moment, an aircraft that had gone to the Scarlet Blue Star domain to investigate quickly returned to the Environmental Protection Army. This was the first to return from the reconnaissance team sent by the Environmental Protection Army. Emergency information. Just as this reconnaissance team approached the Void battlefield, they were connected to the internal network of the Environmental Protection Army. After both parties confirmed their identities, they quickly communicated. In the Environmental Protection Army's Intelligence Center, a white-haired and white-eyed woman immediately said, "Please go ahead." In the Scarlet Blue Star domain, the super-divine life form of the Abyss race, Benos, has already fallen. A cosmic pirate named the Era Pirate Group invaded Benos' headquarters. Both parties fought fiercely, and soon, Benos was destroyed. Intelligence personnel? What? The staff member who was waiting for information suddenly widened her eyes. As she exclaimed, many intelligence personnel joined in the communication with the reconnaissance team and eavesdropped together. Video. The staff's breathing immediately quickened. Although she felt that this team seemed to have been corroded by the Abyss and was talking nonsense, the process still had to be carried out. It's already been transmitted, hasn't it been transmitted yet? Yes. Just as the other party finished speaking, a bunch of staff from the Intelligence Center began to differentiate the authenticity of the video sent by the other party. The video was very blurry, and the recording was also intermittent. Many key scenes were missing. From the looks of it, they were very miserable on the battlefield. However, one could vaguely see a slime the color of the starry sky fighting the Abyss Super Divine, Benos. The staff immediately connected to the database and analyzed the identity of this so-called Era Pirate Group. With this analysis, everyone's pupils constricted. No, bad news. At this moment, a panicked voice came from the reconnaissance team. This pirate crew appeared behind us. They followed. Calm down first. The staff member didn't believe it herself and said, this pirate crew might not be the enemy. According to the identity analysis, the life form that fought Benos is very likely to be second place in the last World King Planet's God-sealing battle, the vice president of the Blue Wave branch of the World King Planet's Environmental Protection Association, Cleansing Star Spirit Susu. And the last human to appear is this batch king of gods, its beast tamer, Shiyu. After the staff finished speaking, she felt that it was ridiculous. The other party also fell silent. Everyone found it unbelievable. But according to the scene transmitted, this seemed to be true. Inform Lord Bingling. As they muttered, in the deepest part of the void battlefield, in a prep room, the Vice President or the Environmental Protection Association, Bingling, and the President of the Environmental Protection Association, Bingling, stopped meditating at the same time. The names of the President and Vice President of the Environmental Protection Association were both called Bingling. Both parties had a contractual relationship. Among them, the Vice President was a human, and the President was an ice element cleansing star spirit race. They had both reached the super divine level. The human Bingling looked like a mature older sister with a cold aura. As for the cleansing star spirit race Bingling, it looked like an ice maiden made of ice crystals. Both parties were telepathically connected. Many higher-ups of the Environmental Protection Army basically regarded them as one person. At this moment, after the human Bingling received the news of the Scarlet Blue Star domain, her expression was incredulous. When did he run to the contaminated land? Bingling's tone was shocked. Moreover, it actually. This is impossible. Perhaps no one in the Environmental Protection Association was more familiar with Shiyu and Susu than Bingling ever since Shiyu joined the Environmental Protection Association. She had been paying attention to Shiyu's growth. Shiyu had displayed shocking potential. Bingling had been looking forward to Susu growing to the divine level. Just a while ago, Shiyu had successfully broken through to the divine level. This also meant that Susu had definitely broken through too. At this moment, Bingling was originally prepared to personally nurture Shiyu and Susu, but unfortunately, the battle ahead was suddenly urgent, forcing her to come to the void battlefield to preside over it. However, no matter how Bingling thought about it, she didn't expect that while she was presiding over the void battlefield, Shiyu and Susu would actually head to the contaminated land without anyone noticing. They came to the headquarters of an Abyss Super Divine and destroyed this Abyss Super Divine. The fifth stage of the Starry Sky contract, when the human Bingling was shocked, the Ioli Bingling's gaze was calm, but her tone wasn't calm. It's already the Epoch God. Beano's won't be their match. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1626, Chapter 1626, Ownership of the Source of Transcendence, 4. Chapter 1626, Ownership of the Source of Transcendence, 4. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. But the human Bingling still couldn't understand why Susu, who was still a demigod a year ago, had already reached the peak of the divine level a year later, the Epoch God. Epoch God wasn't that easy to reach. They were all a group of monsters. Even the strongest cleansing star spirit now, the person beside her, was only a perfect divine when it broke through back then. Although Beano's was a weaker existence among the 10 super divines, it was still a transcendent too. Shiyu and Susu's growth speed was a little too terrifying. Was Blue Planet going to have a new 12th and 13th super divine? Also, what the video didn't record is that in a certain direction, a sword light seems to have heavily injured Beano's. Who is it? Who's the human following beside Shiyu? Who released the sword aura? That person? Let's not care so much first. There's a change in the Scarlet Blue Star domain. We have to start moving too, the Ioli Bingling said. But before that, let's meet this Shiyu. The attention of the 10 super divines of the Dark King army was all on the Environmental Protection Army in the Void battlefield. It was probably impossible for them to imagine that someone would ambush from the back and easily destroy a super divine. Why are you guys running so quickly? At the same time, Shiyu and the others also stopped the reconnaissance team. The 4 guys of the reconnaissance team were forced to leave the aircraft and fly in the starry sky. They looked at Shiyu standing on the battleship in a daze. There were 2 young men in cleansing clothes, a man and a woman, and 2 pets. One was a plant life form, the heart-cleansing lotus demon, and the other was an abyss life form, the dark abyss jellyfish. Although they had never paid attention to the God-sealing battle on the World King planet all these years, they also knew about the God-sealing battle. The information center of the Environmental Protection Army told them that the owner of this pirate crew was a beast tamer from the World King planet. The vice president of the Environmental Protection Association branch? One of their own? Moreover, he was the winner of the God-sealing battle. Most importantly, he was from the previous batch. What a joke! In the previous batch, didn't that mean that these people were only quasi-divine a year ago? What kind of person could go from quasi-divine to super-divine battle power in a year? Sir, are you the king of gods, Shiyu? One of the short-haired young men in a cleansing suit stuttered as he asked Shiyu. Hey, don't you recognize me? Then why are you running? Shiyu said. The young man smiled bitterly and said, El just contacted the Environmental Protection Army headquarters and recognized Sir Shiyu. In short, the void battlefield is nearby, right? Shiyu looked ahead and said. Just nice, help me with something. El just recruited a newbie for the Environmental Protection Army. Help me go through the procedures. By the way, the other party previously worked in the Abyss Army. The 2 of them? But there's no need to worry about his identity. I can help guarantee that the other party is a descendant of the royal family of Divine Planet. After his mother planet was invaded, he was lucky enough to escape. Then, in order to take revenge, he joined the Abyss Army and searched for an opportunity. No problem, the woman in the cleansing suit nodded. If Shiyu vouched for her, there shouldn't be a problem, right? At this moment, under Shiyu's call, Ling also teleported Yu Ling out. At this moment, when it saw the Environmental Protection Army personnel in cleansing clothes, Yu Ling was slightly stunned. Little girl, they're from the Environmental Protection Army. Didn't you say previously that you wanted to join the Environmental Protection Army? I'll get them to bring you to do the procedures. This, Yu Ling was completely stunned. She didn't understand why a big pirate like Shiyu knew the Environmental Protection Army. Who? At this moment, after Shiyu arranged Yu Ling's matter, he suddenly looked at a certain place in the starry sky. As a spatial crack appeared, two figures stepped on the frost in the air and walked over step by step, descending in front of Shiyu and the others. Seeing these two people, the reconnaissance team was stunned. Then, they immediately said, "Lord Bing Ling." Bing Ling, Shiyu looked at the two people who were like sisters, emitting a powerful super divine aura. He also took a deep breath and understood the other party's identity. They were the Bing Ling gods. He didn't expect to see them on such an occasion. Sigh. He originally wanted to cozy up to someone powerful, but in the blink of an eye, he was a powerful figure. He was so helpless tilde. Of course, the Bing Ling of the Environmental Protection Association was still strong. One person might not be strong, but with the combination of both parties, they basically had strength close to the peak of the super divine level. Shiyu, we finally meet. The human Bing Ling looked at Shiyu and said, "Did you kill Beano's?" She wanted to confirm again. "Yes, I've already killed it. I've also eliminated most of the abyssal power in the Scarlet Blue Star domain. Alright, I'll help you count this battle merit. The situation is tense now. One only have one last question. Can you still fight?" Seeing Shiyu's powerful strength, Bing Ling wanted to invite Shiyu to participate in the next battle. However, Shiyu shook his head and said, "Not in the short term. Susu is injured and needs to recuperate." As for Beast Shiyu didn't want to spend the power of faith to fight. Even if he had battle merit, it was too much of a loss. To be honest, there wasn't much strength left in the four holy ruins. He had to use it sparingly. It was really as Susu said. If this thing was in their hands, it would disappear very quickly. The human Bing Ling nodded slightly and said, "All right, in the void battlefield, there's a permanent teleportation array of the World King planet. You guys should return to the World King planet to rest well first. When we return, we'll talk about other things related to the cleansing star spirit. Little brats, you're not bad. After this battle, I'll personally give you a gift." At this moment, the Ioli Bing Ling, the president of the Environmental Protection Association, also said in admiration. At this moment, Yu Ling was still looking at them in shock. In her impression, these two people seemed to be the supreme commanders of the Environmental Protection Army. Therefore, who exactly was Shiyu? Asterisk. Next, Shiyu wasn't prepared to continue fighting anyway. He was too tired. He planned to exchange for the battle merits promised by Bing Ling first. With the help of Bing Ling, they directly arrived at the Environmental Protection Army headquarters of the Void battlefield. However, just as he stepped in, Shiyu calculated the time and suddenly realized something. "Ling, is the new God-sealing battle on the World King planet about to begin? I wonder how Sister Empress, Senior Lu, and the others are cultivating in the time mystic realm created by Emperor Shi. If you find any errors, ads pop-up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible." Chapter 1627, Chapter 1627, New God Sealing, 1. Chapter 1627, New God Sealing, 1. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Yes. In the face of Shiyu's question, Ling quickly replied. So fast, Shiyu sighed. So much time had passed since their championship of the God-sealing battle. Without them, Zhevei, Ming Ji Yu, the son of the Demon Emperor, and the others should participate again, right? However, although they were gone, these veteran contestants were very likely to face a new batch of monsters. Shiyu was amused. Interesting. Shiyu smiled and said, I reckon it's very difficult for our battle merits to be settled before their battle ends. Let's not wait anymore. Let's follow what God Bingling said first and go back to World King Planet to rest. We can see the progress of the God-sealing battle. All right, Ling said. After arriving at the Void battlefield, not long after, Shiyu chose to leave. He returned to the World King Planet through the permanent teleportation array of the Void battlefield. World King Planet. Floating Realm. Ever since the Space Emperor advanced to Super Divine, the first thing he did was apply to upgrade the Floating Realm to a first-level realm. However, the Space Emperor didn't plan to change and expand his territory. In this situation, if he wanted to upgrade the environment of the Floating Realm, he needed the Realm Lord Committee to transplant the Energy Mineral Vein and the Dragon Vein of Luck to improve the environment of the Floating Realm. After some torment, the appearance of the Floating Realm had already improved slightly. Apart from that, official organizations like the Starry Sky Myriad Races Committee, the World King Planet Plant Association, the Space Disaster Research Institute, and the Cosmic Sea Environmental Protection Association also settled in the Floating Realm one after another. It could be said that the current Floating Realm also had the ability to open a second world like Blue Wave, Dong Xian, and the Central Realm. The Beast Tamers of the Floating Realm no longer had to run to other first-level realms to register in order to participate in the God-sealing battle. They could register and participate at their homes. When the new God-sealing battle began, apart from the Beast Tamers of the Floating Realm, a few Beast Tamers from the Dong Huang Realm would also choose to register here. They were Emperor Dong Huang, the Empress, the Dragon Emperor, Lu Qingyi, and the others. Under normal circumstances, no matter how talented and lucky they were, it would take years for them to compete with the geniuses of the cosmic races from the backward version of Blue Planet to enter World King Planet. However, in Emperor Shi's Time Mystic Realm and after plundering the Assassin Planet, these people walked out of Blue Planet under the full nurturing of more than 10 Super Divine A-level experts in the 3 first-level realms, a high-level planet, and improved quickly. Compared to the outside world, it didn't take long for him to have absolute strength to fight for supremacy in the quasi-divine domain. Today happened to be 2 days before the start of the new God-sealing battle. After Shiyu returned from the Void battlefield, he arrived at the Central Realm and learned the competition time. Without a word, he directly teleported back to the Dong Huang Realm through Buggy's magnetic skill without even using the teleportation array. Dong Huang Realm, the glorious ancient city in the east, Dong Huang City. At this moment, there were already many people here. The streets and alleys were very lively. Brand shops from the surrounding realms had all joined. In a high-end dessert shop by the roadside, a woman with long hair and a blue sleeveless shirt was sitting alone at the table, waiting for delicacies. Guest, your clear spring is flowing and the starry sky is filled with flavors. A waiter girl in an apron served the food. Thank you. Lu Qingyi looked at the drinks that emitted a clear taste and the tempting desserts and smiled. Excuse me, can you explain these food materials and allusions to me? No problem. The green-haired waiter girl smiled and said, this little store comes from the Blue Wave world. All the ingredients chosen here are transported from the Blue Wave world. Ahem, because of this, they're all a little expensive, so there are a few customers, but I guarantee that it's definitely worth it. Among them, this cup of clear spring water flows. In the face of the green-haired girl's introduction, Lu Qingyi kept nodding. After the green-haired girl finished introducing with a dry mouth, she couldn't help but ask curiously, guest, are you also here in the Dong Huang realm to seek opportunities? The Dong Huang realm belonged to the Blue Planet. There were many opportunities, and talents were in short supply in all walks of life. Recently, too many people had surged in here. Not to mention quasi-divines, there were many divine levels. The waiter girl couldn't help but ask curiously when she saw that Lu Qingyi's aura was extraordinary and she was very beautiful. More or less. Lu Qingyi took a bite of the dessert and her smile was a little sweet. As expected, after staying in the assassin prison for a long time, compared to the skill of cleansing killing intent and murderous aura, it was better to solve it through dessert. It was more healing to the heart. Sister, all the best. You're so beautiful, you can definitely do it, the waiter girl encouraged. At this moment, the door of the dessert store was pushed open. The waiter girl immediately looked over and said, "Welcome, ah?" She was slightly stunned as she looked at the young man who entered. It was a young man in a black and white battle suit with a sleepy bear on his shoulder. After he entered, he said, "Sorry to disturb you, I'm looking for someone." "Senior Lu, you're here." Sure, the waiter girl hugged the tray and looked at Shiyu in shock. The realm lord of the Donghuang realm, the king of gods, the son of the blue planet, the immoral Shiyu. It was impossible for the people who had come to the Donghuang realm to not know about the realm lord of the Donghuang realm, Shiyu. Shiyu's experience was really too legendary. Just as he arrived at World King Planet, he turned the God-Sealing battle upside down. Then, under the protection of a bunch of big shots, they killed their way into the Assassin Planet and destroyed the #1 assassin organization in the universe. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1628, Chapter 1628, New God Sealing, 2. Chapter 1628, New God Sealing, 2. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. It even made a saying spread on the World King Planet that it was better to provoke super divines than Shiyu. At this moment, Lu Qingyi also turned around in surprise and looked at Shiyu. She said in surprise, "Why are you here? You're done cultivating?" "Yeah." Shiyu walked forward and sat opposite her. He looked at the waiter and said, "Please help me get that blue drink too." "Yes." The waiter girl ran back in panic, still shocked. Wait a minute, that beautiful customer actually knew the King of Gods, Shiyu? Moreover, what did Shiyu call the other party just now? Senior? What level of person was Shiyu's senior? She actually encouraged him just now. Heavens, the Donghuang realm was indeed filled with crouching tigers and hidden dragons. Any random guest might have a big background. "Senior, you're alone? Where's Senior Empress and the others?" Shiyu asked. "They're still in the Time Mystic realm. They're all a group of cultivation fanatics. They plan to come out on the last day of the God-Sealing battle registration." Lu Qingyi smiled and said, "Because I wanted to relax, I came out first." He. You feel that you will still lose to the 3 emperors in the God-Sealing battle, Shiyu couldn't help but say. "Not necessarily," Lu Qingyi said. "I gained a lot in the assassin prison." "Are you still used to it?" Shiyu asked with concern. "It wasn't easy to plunder that talent and skill and perfectly match, right?" "It's all right. Actually, before Grandpa recommended me to become an archaeologist, I had another dream when I was young, which was to become a handsome killer," Lu Qingyi said seriously. Shiyu was confused. He suspected that Senior was implying something about him. He would remember this. "It's good that you can adapt." The corners of Shiyu's mouth twitched. "I'll stay on the World King Planet during this period of time. It depends on your performance." Now that Suzu had advanced to the Epoch God level, Shiyu planned to pull its origin fluctuations to Transcendence first. It shouldn't take long. At that time, with the support of the origin fluctuations, he could also quickly nurture 11 and the others to perfect divines. Right on the heels of that, he could consider how to help them cultivate the super divine will. "Realm Lord Shiyu, your clear spring is flowing." Soon, the drink Shiyu ordered was served. After Shiyu took a sip, he nodded and said, "Not bad, it's very delicious." "Really?" The waiter was pleasantly surprised. "Of course. Thank you for your praise. We'll continue to work hard." The waiter girl was very satisfied. "By the way, can I treat you to this meal? I'm a waiter and the owner of this store." "Are you sure?" "My dozen or so pets haven't eaten." Shiyu looked at the young girl. Of course, she looked young, but perhaps she could be his mother at this age. No. He was already an ancient from the last era. Even World King Planet wasn't as old as him. Shiyu fell into deep thought. Oh no, he couldn't casually acknowledge a mother in the future. The oldest was actually him. I was just kidding. You don't have to take it seriously, Realm Lord Shiyu. The girl fled in a sorry state. Lu Qingyi turned around and smiled. Isn't Teacher Ying with you? Shiyu said. She went to study and refine the source of transcendence. Oh, Lu Qingyi nodded. Then, she suddenly frowned and sensed that something was wrong. Refining the source of transcendence? Well, we set off from Blue Planet a few months ago and walked around the universe. We encountered an abyss super divine and killed it. It happened to drop a source of transcendence. This news will probably take a while to be sent back to World King Planet from the Void battlefield. At the moment, Teacher Cat is the most suitable to fuse in the team. Well, she was already a top-notch divine previously. After this fusion, she should be a super divine. Lu Qingyi? Who? She was stunned. These are all small matters. Eat first. I'll talk to you about interesting things like Goddess Wa's ruins later. Shiyu smiled. Well, and although there might not be enough time, do you want 11 and the others to help your pet undergo special training in the next 2 days? Ruins. Special training. All right. Lu Qingyi nodded. In the floating realm, Shiyu's super luxurious manor was even larger than the Realm Lord Temple. After learning that Shiyu had returned, the Space Emperor and Lin Feng naturally came. The two of them didn't expect Shiyu to return in such a short period of time. However, when the Space Emperor and Lin Feng learned that Shiyu had successfully hunted a super divine and even dropped the source of transcendence, they were shocked for 10,000 years. How is this possible? The Space Emperor and Lin Feng couldn't understand. Previously, Shiyu had just broken through and already had the strength to defeat a top-notch divine. It was already ridiculous. Considering the enhancement of the 4 holy ruins, it was understandable. But why could he fight a super divine head-on in such a short period of time? The 4 holy ruins is exciting, and in addition, the cleansing star spirit race counters the abyss type. Shiyu laughed and said, it's not that difficult. It's mainly because the other party underestimated the enemy. The two of them were silent. In that case, it won't be long before you can advance to super divine? Lin Feng said enviously. Including the space-time emperors and Shiyu, this time, there were only 3 human super divines in the Blue Planet. Considering that there were still 3 ancient emperors chasing after him, he felt a sense of danger. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1629, Chapter 1629, New God Sealing, 3. Chapter 1629, New God Sealing, 3. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. He was now at the peak of the divine level. At that time, Emperor Wu, the Empress, and the Dragon Emperor would have their own opportunities to advance, but he had yet to advance. That would be a tragedy. No, I didn't choose to fuse it myself. Instead, I gave the source of transcendence to Teacher Ying. Emperor Kong and Lin Feng? What? Wasn't this crazy? No, considering that the cat had the inheritance of the Star Prayer race now, it wasn't a waste. The reason why I did this is because I saw Goddess Wa's clone and obtained some things from her to break through to the cosmic level. Shiyu was right on the heels of that and said something that shocked the Space Emperor and Lin Feng. Right on the heels of that, Shiyu told them about his encounter with Goddess Wa in the ruins of Earth. After hearing that Goddess Wa had the strength of a peak super divine and said that there might be no hope for the cosmic level of the source of transcendence that had been fused by others, the Space Emperor directly couldn't hold it in anymore. Low quality. It's all right. I like it when others use it. I originally had no hope of reaching the cosmos level. After all, too many monsters hundreds or thousands of times more talented than me have fallen on this path. He forcefully comforted himself. Ha ha ha, you like things that have been used by others. What's the difference between you and that Wang thief? Wait a minute, you're Wang Kong. That's fine, Lin Feng said. Get lost. The Space Emperor was furious. I think Senior Lin Feng definitely despises the low-quality source of transcendence, so he let Teacher Ying study it first. After experimenting, her wish power seems to have the ability to increase the quality of the source of transcendence. Now, because she fused with the third wish star inheritance, she has top-notch divine power and is also qualified to refine the source of transcendence. Perhaps after reaching her peak, she can also help others make up for their incomplete foundation. Lin Feng cried. Firstly, he had never said that he despised low-quality source of transcendence. However, when they heard Shiyu say that the Star Prayer race might be able to increase the quality of the source of transcendence, their eyes couldn't help but light up. In fact, even Shiyu himself didn't expect the Star Prayer race to have this power. The source of transcendence was naturally condensed by the universe. The power of the Star Prayer race relied on praying to the cosmic stars to obtain power of faith. In essence, it seemed to be really from the same source. Even Susu couldn't do this. Its source of transcendence fluctuations couldn't let the source of transcendence return to its original appearance. Perhaps this was the incompatibility of the power system. In short, it wasn't a loss to give it to the cat. It wasn't a waste. So your next idea is to continue to the territory of the Cosmic Overlord Army and help her find the Wish Star inheritance, right? The Space Emperor said. That's right. Goddess WA seems to be old friends with the Cosmic Overlord. This way, it's much safer to go to the territory of the Cosmic Overlord Army. Shiyu nodded. Emperor Kong and Lin Feng looked at each other. They kept feeling that even after coming to the starry sky for hundreds of years, their lives weren't as exciting as Shiyu's year. By the way, where's Senior Emperor Shi? Shiyu asked. Emperor Shi. I wonder where he went. Let's pay attention to the God-sealing battle first, the Space Emperor said. I'll wonder how far Senior Emperor Wu and the others have reached. Lin Feng said, I'll feel that it can definitely be done. I don't understand Emperor Wu and the others, but the little fish, who hasn't entered the time mystic realm, has been by my side for not too long. It has reached the level of 10,000 years before the God-sealing battle after spending such a short time with me. Senior Emperor Wu and the others are definitely not bad. Little fish? Fish convergence. Tyrannical Sea legend. It should be. Tyrannical Sea legendary now. There's definitely some in the top 10. After all, they're equivalent to 10 years of bitter cultivation in the time mystic realm. Let's wait and see. The top 10 should still be stable. Shiyu smiled. At least, he already knew part of Senior Lu's strength. Apart from Zhevei, Ming Ji Yu, and the others, there shouldn't be many who could pose a threat to them. Soon. As the registration for the God-sealing battle was about to end, Emperor Wu and the others also broke out of seclusion. They first went to register before being called over by Shiyu to stay. At night, Emperor Wu, the Empress, the Dragon Emperor, the Dragon God, Lu Qingyi, Shiyu, and the others gathered and had a barbecue gathering. Compared to the previous batch, many more people signed up for this God-sealing battle. The number of registrations exceeded 10 million. Perhaps it was because the last God-sealing battle was too lively, making a bunch of quasi-divines hearts itch, so they chose to go out and participate. My opponent's historical ranking isn't very high, the Dragon God said. This year, she also chose to participate. The rise of the Blue Planet bloodline allowed her to obtain more cultivation resources. Although her strength progress might not be inferior to the Empress and the others, she wouldn't fall behind too much. Same, the Dragon Emperor said. Tian, do you want to compete to see whose final ranking is higher? The Dragon God was speechless. Boring. It's indeed boring. Lu Qingyi said. This was it. The Dragon Emperor had revived. Lu Qingyi, who had eaten a lot of gossip previously, originally thought that he and the dragon god could make any progress, but in the end, this was it. She sighed slightly at the side. As the first round of matches that night was announced, Shi Yu and the others gathered and communicated with each other. "Are they also lucky?" Emperor Wu said. "My opponents are also very weak." "Mine too." Empress Huangshi looked at her matching results and shook her head. Her opponent was also a guy millions away. "Wow!" However, Kai Tong cried out in shock from behind the Empress. "Their opponent's ranking isn't high because it's really not high." "Yours is different," Kai Tong said. "The son of the Demon Emperor, Tian Shong. His father is a super divine level expert. He was eliminated in the second round last year because he encountered me. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible." Chapter 1630, Chapter 1630, New God Ceiling, 4. Chapter 1630, New God Ceiling, 4. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. What a coincidence. He's here again this year. Moreover, he encountered you in the first round. What fate? Oh? Kai Tong's words attracted everyone's attention. Son of a super divine? There was such a contestant. Emperor Wu and the others looked at the Empress in unison and felt envious. Compared to the seemingly weak opponents they encountered, the Empress's opponents looked more comfortable fighting. Is that so? Huangshi nodded and said, "But no matter who it is, I'll defeat them too." "Enemies are indeed bound to meet on a narrow road," Shi Yu said as he ate a lamb skewer. "Senior Huangshi's luck is similar to when we participated. We both encountered powerful contestants a few rounds in advance. Isn't that pretty good?" Emperor Wu said. "Ha ha, we'll meet sooner or later anyway. I'll understand. Ling, help Senior Emperor Wu apply a reverse blessing wind tomorrow and make Senior Emperor Wu's luck worse. Perhaps he can encounter Zhevei and Ming Jiyu in the second round. Perhaps we'll encounter Senior Dragon Emperor and the others in advance." Ling, Roger. Emperor Wu? The Dragon Emperor, who was eating barbecue. "There's no need," he said. For life forms at Shi Yu and the others' level, unless they used the cultivation fruit, sleeping was no longer a necessary activity. Therefore, after Shi Yu finished eating, he immediately pulled 11 and the others to a new round of points. However, at this moment, in another realm, a contestant fell into deep thought. This person was the son of the Demon Emperor, Tian Shong. Although he lost the last God Ceiling battle, because his opponent, Kai Tong, was too monstrous, he didn't receive much criticism from his father. His father just wanted him to work hard next time. Therefore, this year, the son of the Demon Emperor came again. However, now, when this noble son looked at his opponent's profile picture, he only felt deep confusion. He took out contestant Kai Tong's profile picture from last year and compared it. Then, he carefully observed Empress Huangshi's profile picture. In the end, he was stunned. Even if it wasn't exactly identical, it was 99% similar. The only difference was its aura. What was going on? I don't understand. The son of the Demon Emperor was shocked. Don't tell him that Kai Tong still had a sister. With Kai Tong's exaggerated strength, how could her sister be weak? When the new God Ceiling battle began, those contestants were still the ones who received the most attention. Zhevei, Ming Jiyu. Even the super dark horse of the previous batch and the unlucky son of the Demon Emperor, Tian Shong. Therefore, apart from Tian Shong himself, many people were paying attention to his match results. Then, like Tian Shong, the people who paid attention fell into deep thought. Right on the heels of that, it was to investigate crazily who this Huangshi was. As for where to investigate, it was naturally from the Donghuang realm, the floating realm, and other places that were closely related to Shi Yu. This investigation was impressive. Someone dug out the story Shi Yu told when the Blue Planet Super Divine went to assassinate the assassin. Planet. Huangshi, the third legendary emperor of the Dong Huang dynasty, was the only female emperor. She was a hybrid of a human and a phoenix and had peerless talent. She was known as the strongest female beast tamer in Dong Huang. Chen Shong quickly found this information, but not only did his shocked mood not ease, but he also felt that it was even more ridiculous. What? Dong Huang's third emperor? Why was she still alive? When Shi Yu told the story, although he didn't say that the empress and the others had already died, the dynasty had changed so frequently, the totem battle had happened so tragically, and the story of the rise of the new emperor was so complicated. Everyone had already subconsciously judged that the empress and the others had already fallen. However, the current situation caught them off guard. Some people also searched Wu Dong, Long Qingyun, and the others. This search made them even more silent. Because Emperor Dong Huang, the Empress, and the Dragon Emperor had all come to participate. This was ridiculous. Their opponents were stunned. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1631, Chapter 1631, World King Planet Quake, 1. Chapter 1631, World King Planet Quake, 1. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. That night, this was what the trending headlines were talking about. There were even people kneeling before the exposing king to expose the news and ask what was going on. Even if it was a rumor, the crowd wanted to watch the show too much. However, the exposing king, Patriarch Tu, who had reached a cooperation agreement with Blue Planet, didn't dare to continue blowing up. It would be bad if the beast tamers of the Blue Planet were unhappy. A long time ago, it seemed to have exposed the matter of the Space Emperor and Lin Feng. Although it didn't know if what it had predicted was accurate, the other party seemed to be very unhappy. However, Patriarch Tu felt that the Space Emperor and Lin Feng could get along. At least it wasn't wanted like the others. The next day, everyone paid attention to the battle between Huangshi and the son of the Demon Emperor, wanting to verify Huangshi's true identity. In the winter snow arena, a noble son with silver hair and golden eyes holding a demon saber looked at Empress Huangshi opposite him with a serious expression. "You're Dong Huang's third empress, Empress Huangshi." Opposite him, Huangshi was expressionless. "So what if I am?" "El didn't expect you to still be alive," the son of the Demon Emperor, Chen Shong, said. "What's your relationship with Kai Tong?" This was also what everyone wanted to know. Why did the Empress and Kai Tong look the same? The Empress was a human, and Kai Tong was a heroic spirit. What complicated relationship was there? In addition to hybrids, everyone smelled gossip. They really wanted to know. Boss Chen Shong, continue asking. Ask. Big Boss Chen Shong, please, ask clearly. I'm curious. The audience in the live stream flooded the screen crazily. In terms of age, you're older. Could it be the Demon Emperor's son had just finished speaking? In the next moment, the Empress opposite directly attacked. Fusion talent, Phoenix strengthening, and bloodline strengthening were all activated. Among them, the fusion talent learned from Emperor Wu. Because she had the Phoenix bloodline, she could quickly fuse with the 9 Phoenix pets. In addition to her bloodline strengthening talent, Huangshi's aura instantly reached a terrifying level. Of course, most importantly, the legendary emperors who entered the starry sky cultivated the divine contract later, restricted themselves, and stimulated their potential. This was the strongest thing about space beast tamers. In fact, Shi Yu had also unknowingly undergone a divine contract. The upgraded blessing of the world tree was a type of divine contract that external forces helped Shi Yu reach. His divine contract was the upper limit of the pets that could be contracted. It exceeded ordinary people, and his cultivation speed exceeded ordinary beast tamers. There were also some other miscellaneous attribute enhancements. The enhancements were many and complicated. As for the side effects, there didn't seem to be any. If one had to say, the side effects were that raising too many pets costs too much money. Ordinary people couldn't afford to raise them, right? As for Huangxi's restriction on herself, she could only contract pets with the Phoenix bloodline in exchange for a fivefold increase in her beast-taming talent. Similar to Ming Gut's divine contract, the content of the contract could only be reached by super geniuses. The other party's was 10 times, and the Empress's was 5 times. Of course, this couldn't mean that the Empress's talent was worse than Ming Gut's, because Ming Gu seemed to have only contracted 1 pet. This might also be a price, but the Empress didn't have the number of pet contracts restricted. She still had 9 pets now. The difference in the number of pets was enough to close the increase in beast-taming talent. After being blessed by Goddess Wa and Blue Planet, the Empress's talent was clearly higher. This was equivalent to a gift from a peak super divine and a cosmic-level star in her previous life. At this moment, every Phoenix pet of hers had mastered more than 4 quasi-divine skills. When 9 fused into 1, it was equivalent to dozens of quasi-divine skills gathering in one body. Although the quality might not be inferior to Zhevei, under the enhancement of the Empress 5 times beast-taming talent, her strength instantly reached an unbelievable level. 2 pairs of huge 9-colored feathers floated behind her. Empress Huang. She calmly attacked. Phoenix seal. She gave the order, and a 9-colored treasure seal condensed in the sky. Accompanied by a phoenix cry, it instantly collapsed the sky and space, suppressing the sun of the Demon Emperor, making its pupils shrink. It pulled out its saber and stood up. Boom! Under the dazzling light, the 3rd son of the Demon Emperor was directly suppressed by the treasure seal on the snow, his body flattened. The Empress felt that the person in front of her was too noisy and had too many questions. At this moment, the entire place was silent. "I'm younger than her," the Empress said. Kai Tong, who was watching the battle? Nonsense. Kai Tong expressed that it was younger, but it was a sister. Of course, no one cared about this now. For the first time, Empress Dong Huang's strength appeared in front of everyone. Everyone felt that her strength wasn't much inferior to Kai Tong's monster. It's over. At this moment, the hearts of the old contestants, like Ming Gu, turned cold. They knew that nothing good would happen if the few emperors of Dong Huang appeared this year. This empress was so strong. The blue planet was filled with monsters. Next, there was still Emperor Wu and the Dragon Emperor. How was he going to play this batch? On the first day, Emperor Wu and the Dragon Emperor basically didn't even fight. They didn't even summon their pets and relied on deterrence from afar to instantly kill their opponents. Senior Lu was the same, but she didn't rely on deterrence. Instead, she relied on the killing intent fluctuations tempered by her pets during this period, directly scaring her opponent into collapse. It was similar to deterrence. As the Blue Planet bloodline appeared again, many monster experts surged out at once. The other realms were numb. Especially the Four Holy family, who had an even greater sense of urgency. The Four Saint Super Divine met online again. The grudge between us and the Blue Planet lineage is almost impossible to erase. Now that the Blue Planet lineage is gradually strengthening, if we're still afraid of Emperor Shi and refuse to attack for a long time, the geniuses of the Blue Planet lineage will increase in number and become stronger and stronger, the Vermilion Bird Super Divine said. Green Dragon, your killing intent was the strongest previously, but later on, you were the first to say that we have to delay the conflict. You said that you would find a safer method. Have you found it now? Of course, the Green Dragon Super Divine said. Even if the other party knows it's us, we definitely can't attack personally. Hey, this Blue Planet bloodline is really domineering. They can destroy the Assassin Planet just like that, but if they can destroy the Assassin Planet, can they destroy the Cosmic Overlord Army? Can they destroy the Dark King Army? Shiyu contracted a cleansing star spirit and contracted so many pets. No matter what, he will head to the void battlefield sooner or later. A person like him won't be willing to cower on the World King Planet. At that time, the Super Divine of the Blue Planet lineage won't be able to protect him all the time. On the battlefield, there are the Dark King Army and the Death Mercenaries of the Cosmic Overlord Army. Letting him die on the battlefield is the best choice. At most, I'll let him grow for a period of time. When he feels that he's strong enough, it's also time for him to die. In the World King planet, the more talented they are, the faster they die. This is because they are confident in their strength, especially those divine-level geniuses who try to challenge super divines above their level. They often die the fastest. What we need to do is guide Shiyu to the battlefield to try to challenge a super divine above his level and let him die of arrogance. I'll understand the logic, but what should we do? The White Tiger super divine said, he's not an ordinary divine-level genius. If he chooses a super divine challenge that exceeds Transcendent 1, even if he loses, the other party might not necessarily be able to stop him. If he wins, it will be even more of a disaster. Take a step back. What if he doesn't go to the battlefield? Leave it to me. This is a meticulous and complicated trap, the Green Dragon super divine said. He has to go. F*CK, you're really smart, big idiot, the Black Tortoise super divine suddenly said. Green Dragon? You're scolding me? The Green Dragon super divine was angry. Black Tortoise said, go and see the news headlines that just appeared. The 3 super divines? The top trending topic in the news. It should have been about the God-sealing battle, but today's situation was really special. That was because, at the edge of the Cosmic Sea, the Environmental Protection Army and the Dark King Army finally collided head-on. Both parties launched an all-out attack and started a battle. It involved nearly 20 super divines and a huge battle in dozens of star domains. The name of the person who accelerated the battle made the super divines of the Four Holy Family widen their eyes. On the news, it was Bing Ling's mobilization before the battle. The main content of the mobilization was that the Environmental Protection Army had already successfully killed an Abyss super divine that was of Transcendent 2, the Abyss super divine, Benos. As for the person who killed Benos, his name was Shiyu. This was what the news said. After the Environmental Protection Association Shiyu and Susu went deep into the enemy, they killed the Abyss super divine Benos and the Abyss army of a star domain alone in the Scarlet Blue star domain. In the defense line of the Dark King Army, a huge gap was opened, laying a solid foundation for the final victory of the Environmental Protection Army. It had to be said that Shiyu's battle results were indeed useful. It immediately stimulated the fighting spirit of the Environmental Protection Army, letting them know that there was such a future star and super genius in the Environmental Protection Army. A divine-level expert had hunted a super divine Transcendent 2 above his level and even succeeded. This was simply a textbook miracle battle. All the attention of the Dark King Army was on the super divine. In this battle, both parties had a peak super divine presiding over them. The super divine source or transcendence was like Tneen Sun to Tneen Peak or Tneen Super Divine. 11 a super divine level entered the range of the Dark King Army, it would definitely be sensed immediately. Therefore, it was almost impossible to suddenly attack and kill a super divine and open an opening on the battlefield. This was because if they wanted to do it, they could only do it by the divine level. Moreover, they couldn't enter the enemy's range head-on. However, how could there be so many divine levels that could kill super divines? Therefore, Shiyu and the others were considered to have been stuck in a huge bug. Be it Susu or Beast Shiyu, who didn't have the source of transcendence, they were both weak existences that were extremely difficult to detect in the Dark King Army. Moreover, they had passed through from the remote blue planet, so it was even harder to detect. If they could obtain a huge victory in this battle, Shiyu's contribution would undoubtedly be huge. No, impossible! After seeing this news, the super divines of the Four Holy Family were directly stunned. Especially the Green Dragon super divine. It originally planned to use the power of the enemy super divine to kill Shiyu after he grew up. In the end, sure. You? This? I don't believe it. The Green Dragon super divine was extremely shocked. At this moment, the entire World King planet was shocked. Another enemy super divine had fallen. Moreover, it died in the hands of a divine-level genius. Most importantly, this genius was only a quasi-divine a year ago. Everyone was shocked by such a ridiculous battle result. When the geniuses who were still fighting Shiyu in the God-sealing battle a year ago saw this news, their expressions were numb, and their eyes were shocked. It was difficult to understand. Those super divine realm lords in high positions also fell into deep thought. They looked in the direction of the Dong Huang realm and felt that another invincible epoch god had been born. How long had it been since such a terrifying divine level appeared on the World King planet? If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1632, Chapter 1632, Breaking the Divine Level Limit, 1. Chapter 1632, Breaking the Divine Level Limit, 1. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Shiyu's successful hunt of a super divine immediately became a big matter that attracted the attention of the entire World King planet. Last year, during the God-sealing battle, Shiyu's news made the entire World King planet pay attention. This year, during the God-sealing battle, Shiyu should have left, but no one expected him to return. He made big news again and let everything stop on him. How exactly did he do it? Even if the cleansing star spirit is known as the heavenly nemesis abyss race and can fight above its level, it's too magical to go from a quasi-divine to super-divine battle power in such a short period of time. Could it be that Benos was heavily injured because he was weak for some special reason? Although the news says that Shiyu is alone, don't forget, he alone represents more than 10 monster pets. If we cooperate. I've already imagined it. Ling's luck was so good that it exploded. Perhaps Benos' army encountered the starry sky storm and was picked up by Shiyu and the others. But even so, it's very strong. Compared to believing that Shiyu could really kill super divines above his level, people were still willing to imagine more storytelling experiences. After all, Shiyu directly killed his way to the divine planet of the Scarlet Blue Star Domain. It sounded even more unreliable than the starry sky storm that the Benos army encountered. But no matter how they argued, no one could obtain concrete information. Now, people still wanted to know if Shiyu had obtained a new source of transcendence, but unfortunately, no additional information was circulated in that battle. Bingling only used this battle report to encourage the Environmental Protection Army after obtaining Shiyu's agreement. This kid. Apart from the 4 saints and the super divine, the 5 super divines on Blue Planet also felt that it was ridiculous. They each felt that it was unbelievable. They couldn't imagine that Shiyu, who still needed their protection in the previous God-sealing battle, had surpassed them so quickly. Ignoring strength, just Shiyu's battle results alone had undoubtedly exceeded them by too much to defeat a Transcendent 2. After obtaining the pseudo-source of Transcendence, the Dragon Super Divine that had just advanced to Transcendent 2 looked in the direction of the Dong Huang realm in confusion. The dragon felt that it had lived for nothing at its age. This Dong Huang lineage was too ridiculous. At this moment, in the floating realm, Shiyu was yawning. He was lying on an old rocker, leisurely. The exposure of his battle results also meant that the Environmental Protection Army should have calculated his battle merits. As expected, before Shiyu could take the initiative to investigate, Shiyu's World King token swayed. After Shiyu chose to answer, there was first silence before an unfamiliar voice sounded. Realm Lord Shiyu, I'm the person in charge of the Central Realms battle. Achievement Bureau, Phonglan. During your service in the Environmental Protection Army, the battle merits you accumulated have been verified and have already been logged in. As the value is too large, I'll personally contact you next. Shiyu said, Hello, Director Phonglan. May I ask if there's a planet among the resources that can be exchanged for battle merits, right? That's right, Phonglan said. Your battle merits are enough to exchange for some rare planets, such as the Lucky Star and the Time Star. Shiyu said, I want a Lucky Star and a Time Star at the same time. Are my battle merits enough? Phonglan said, it might not be enough. Shiyu said, then I want a Lucky Star. The rest can be exchanged for a pseudo-source of transcendence. All right, I'll help you arrange it next. Shiyu closed the call. After thinking about it, he still decided to get a Lucky Star. he would change Ling's weapon first. Although the spatial weapons on the battleship weren't bad now, when he added Ling's spatial control to perfect plus 47, the advantage wouldn't be that great. It was better to change them as soon as possible. On the contrary, Shiyu felt that the more metaphysical things, like luck value, the better. In short, it was spatial attainments. Apart from spatial weapons and spatial control skills, there were many ways to increase them. However, on the contrary, there were very few ways to increase the luck stats. He couldn't miss any of them. As for the rest, it was all to exchange for the pseudo-source of transcendence. This was because the pseudo-source of transcendence was a high-level universal currency among super-divine levels. It was also very convenient to exchange it for other things later. Apart from that, it could be stored to strengthen Beast Shiyu in the future. Shiyu also valued the growth of his previous life very much. After all, he might have to fuse with it in the future. While waiting for the battle merit reward to be transferred, Shiyu naturally added points with all his might. Of course, he would occasionally pay attention to the new God-Sealing battle, but before Senior Lu and the others encountered troublesome opponents, there was nothing to pay attention to. It had to be said that after Susu reached the Super Divine Will, it was easy to add points to her. The proficiency level of the origin wave increased almost visibly. However, the Star Sea contract that had already reached Transcendence seemed to have encountered a bottleneck and couldn't increase. At the same time, the Star Sea contract was also in a deletable state in the skill index. This meant that the index judged that it had been maxed out. This situation had puzzled Shiyu for a long time. Transcendent was max level. This situation only happened in teaching skills. The Star Sea contract was a racial skill. In theory, the upper limit of the level should be Dao proficiency. Could it be that the upper limit of the proficiency of a divine skill was transcendent? It no longer differentiated between racial skills and teaching skills. However, Shiyu couldn't be bothered to think too much. So be it if it was transcendent. In any case, it was still far from transcendent. It was useless to think too much now. I'm so tired. At the lake, Shiyu hugged Susu and sighed slightly. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1633, Chapter 1633, Breaking the Divine Level Limit, 2. Chapter 1633, Breaking the Divine Level Limit, 2. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Susu looked at Shiyu with its big eyes and directly condensed a cleansing water drop to cleanse Shiyu's lazing heart. Nink, Nink. Beast Tamer, this isn't your limit. This is the last time, Shiyu said. Race skill. Divine level, Star Sea contract, Transcendent, Origin wave, perfect plus 47. Inheritance water droplet, initiate, water to quasi-control, proficient, heavenly frost cold energy, proficient. Taught skill. Divine level, infinite devour, initiate, star refinement, proficient. Shiyu felt that it was enough. With one last time, the origin fluctuations could reach transcendence. Having a transcendent level divine skill was an epoch god, so what if he had two? Although the level upper limit of a single divine skill couldn't increase, Shiyu could still choose to compete in numbers. The Star Sea contract combined with the origin fluctuations to form a combination skill. Even if there was really a divine skill with Dao proficiency, this combination skills should be able to resist. At the moment, Susu's strength was much stronger than when it fought the Abyss Super Divine. If they fought again, Susu would definitely not be so miserable. And if he raised the origin wave to transcendence and fought again, Shiyu was confident that Susu could defeat the other party even without his support. Come. Nink. Come. Shiyu's final palm landed on Susu's head. In the next moment, an extremely dazzling light appeared on Susu's body. Buzz. It instantly illuminated the entire mystic realm. If Shiyu hadn't asked the Space Emperor to help strengthen his mystic realm mana with the power of Super Divine, the current light would probably have been like the light of the sun, shocking the entire floating realm. What a strong power wave! In the manner, Ling and the others stuck their heads out one by one. 11's hand, which was holding the bamboo in the corridor, trembled slightly with envy. Quack, as expected of Big Sister. Ducky was excited. If Susu became stronger, it was actually equivalent to it becoming stronger. With Susu around, it could devour and activate more abyssal power without restraint. Ooh? However, not only did Susu break through again, Shiyu also sensed an indescribable change in his body. During the process of adding points, Shiyu closed his eyes tightly and frowned. He sensed the attribute feedback from Susu. Generally speaking, the power Susu gave back was resistance. It had more willpower, mind, and mental strength, which could make Shiyu's magic resistance and abnormal state resistance stronger. Of course, apart from that, there was naturally the feedback from every pet to break through the standard and the beast taming space. Long before this, Shiyu had already been fed back to the 10th level of the divine level by Beast Shiyu, which was the peak of the divine level. Logically speaking, this was already the limit of the divine level. Even if Susu had just become an epoch god, the beast taming space didn't change much. But now, as Susu became an epoch god with 2 transcendent divine skills, the feedback from the beast taming space finally became obvious. 10 phantoms of the sky automatically appeared behind Shiyu. The sky behind him was blurry, as if it had been divided into 10 levels. The sky rumbled and trembled, as if it was opening up a new world. This is Qi, Ling, and the others watched eagerly at the side. Master is opening the 11th level. Because of Susu's feedback, he broke the limit of the divine level beast taming space. Wow, Qi said. That can happen? Then when we all become epoch gods, can we build higher and higher? This is a possibility, Ling muttered. At the same time, Shiyu also felt that he and Susu were breaking through together. As Shiyu broke through, a large amount of origin power was tilted out of the 11 heavens. Even 11 and the others had obtained the divine power purification and increased some divine power. At this moment, strange phenomena appeared frequently in Shiyu's beast-taming space as Shiyu's own meditation consolidated. However, just as Shiyu was about to solidify the 11th level, an accident appeared. Boom! In the sky, countless lightning bolts suddenly struck down. They were nomological lightning, as if they were tribulation lightning fused from transcendent spatial laws and transcendent lightning laws. They were incomparably terrifying, and every one of them seemed to be able to destroy a world. No way! Shiyu suddenly looked at the sky. The violent lightning tribulation struck in the direction of the new 11 heavens. Shiyu had never heard of this situation or expected it. This lightning tribulation was incomparably terrifying. Even if a super divine was hit, it might be heavily injured. If it successfully hit the 11th heavenly layer, not only would Shiyu's beast-taming space collapse, but the weight that had just been opened would definitely be gone. Moreover, the other 10 heavenly layers would definitely suffer a serious backlash and crack. At that time, Shiyu estimated that it would take him a long time to recuperate. It would be so serious that his life would even be in danger. Meow! In the distance, Shorty was the first to explode. It thought that someone wanted to harm Shiyu, but its white tiger retribution power had expanded. Even with the power of the 4 holy ruins, it didn't feel that any expert in the floating realm was hostile to Shiyu. Moreover, this lightning tribulation didn't seem to be targeting Shiyu's life. Instead, it seemed to be purely targeting Shiyu's newly opened 11th heavenly layer. This is the will of the great universe. As if it represented some taboo to open up the 11th heavenly layer, Ling immediately judged that this lightning tribulation was like a cosmic disaster. It was born naturally, but it seemed to contain the will of the universe and was only targeted at certain specific situations. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1634, Chapter 1634, Breaking the Divine Level Limit, 3. Chapter 1634, Breaking the Divine Level Limit, 3. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Woo! The lightning tribulation landed. 11 had already rushed into the sky, wanting to help the 11th heavenly layer resist the lightning tribulation with its lightning body, but it was directly stopped by Beast Shiyu. Danger! Beast Shiyu flew into the sky and directly threw 11 back to the ground. He rushed into the sky alone and resisted the storm-like lightning tribulation in the shaky 11th heavenly layer. He raised the sword shield as high as a lightning rod, trying to attract the lightning to himself. Boom! The aftermath instantly made the mana mystic realm into a mess, causing cracks to appear in the spatial mystic realm created by the Space Emperor. It was about to collapse at any time. Under the indiscriminate bombardment of lightning, Beast Shiyu's equipment gradually shattered, and injuries appeared on his body. Fortunately, his physical strength was still strong enough, thanks to the strengthening of the pseudo-source of transcendence previously. Stay away! At that moment, all of Shiyu's pets were called back by Shiyu. The strength of this lightning tribulation was so strong that, apart from its super divine battle power, it was invincible. At the moment, in the team, only Beast Shiyu and Susu could try to resist it. Nink! Under the worried expressions of 11 and the others, Susu finally opened its eyes and looked at the sky fiercely. Clearly, it had finished digesting the power of the additional points and completely stepped into the new realm of the era. It directly leaped up. During the process, it combined it with the Star Sea contract and ignored the backlash. It activated the origin wave with all its might, trying to erase the lightning. Nink! Breaking lightning, disperse! As soon as Susu finished speaking, the fluctuations of the Sea of Stars spread out and filled the entire sky, causing the Milky Way to appear again. Soon, countless lightning bolts dimmed. Boom 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 boom. The lightning tried to launch a new round of attacks, but it was forced back by Susu and Beast Shiyu. At this moment, Shiyu's mana was already in a complete mess. The Mystic Realm space had also collapsed. Before Shiyu noticed, the sound of tribulation lightning had already resounded throughout the entire floating realm. Even the experts from the surrounding realms suddenly woke up and looked in the direction of the floating realm. What happened? In the floating realm, the Space Emperor was shocked. He looked in the direction of Shiyu's mana and at the lightning that had already dimmed in the sky. He was shocked, and he quickly teleported over. However, by the time he came over, everything had already calmed down. Although Shiyu's main body didn't come into contact with the lightning, he still seemed to have been electrocuted and was charred from the explosion. Shiyu spat out black smoke. In the sky, Susu was lying on Beast Shiyu's head, still looking at the sky. After confirming that there was no movement, they heaved a sigh of relief. Yeah! Baby Ginseng and the others, who were protecting Shiyu, also started chattering. It's all right. Don't worry, Shiyu said. Damn, what's this? All the good equipment is gone. Shiyu! In midair, the Space Emperor looked at the miserable Shiyu and said, Shiyu, what happened? Enemy? He sensed his surroundings, but he didn't find anyone. Senior Space Emperor. At this moment, Shiyu also noticed the Space Emperor. He looked over and said, One don't know either. It doesn't look like an enemy. Have you read any cultivation novels? Have you heard of the Tribulation Transcendence stages? Heavenly Tribulation, Lightning Tribulation, and so on. It seems to be that. Emperor Kong. I've heard of it. I once had a subordinate who cultivated a dragon carp. When that dragon carp evolved into a lightning dragon in a special way, it experienced the test of the heaven and earth lightning. On the World King planet, there are also some races who need to undergo the test of heaven and earth when breaking through. Shiyu nodded and said, although the mechanism might be different, nature feels about the same. When I just broke through, I seem to have also encountered the lightning that filled the void. Of course, it's all thanks to Susu, and the guy from the Super Divine Stone. I'm fine. The Space Emperor looked at Beast Shiyu and Susu in the sky in silence, as if he understood why Shiyu could defeat the Abyss Super Divine. At the same time, they were shocked again that Shiyu could control Beast Shiyu to display such strength. Shiyu had managed to do something that the Archaeological Association had never been able to do. He was really a monster. Of course, apart from Shiyu's own pets, the Space Emperor and the others didn't know that this era's ancient corpse was Shiyu's previous life. Even Emperor Shi and the Blue Planets couldn't tell. Perhaps they could tell, but they didn't say it. It's good that you're fine, but why would a breakthrough attract lightning tribulation? The Space Emperor couldn't understand. A human breakthrough would attract lightning? He had indeed never heard of it. Shiyu used his body control to recover his fair skin and short black hair. 11M also very puzzled. It might be related to this? With that said, Shiyu directly activated the beast-taming space. The colorless summoning array was a divine-level symbol. It was already difficult to see its real form, but in contrast, the sky phenomenon that represented the level of the beast-taming space became an important symbol to determine the strength of the beast-tamer. At that moment, a total of 11 heavenly layers rumbled as they appeared behind Shiyu, making the Space Emperor reveal an incredulous expression. 11 layers? He said in disbelief. Well, perhaps it's because of the blessing of the Blue Planet's world tree. Previously, I had 2 beast-taming spaces. After they fused, they seemed to have the ability to break through the upper limit of their level. It's also possible that the feedback from the pets is too huge, allowing me to break through the limit. Shiyu himself didn't understand why he had successfully broken through. However, he had indeed never heard of the beast-taming space of the 11th level. As a spatial talent, the Space Emperor had been stuck at the 10th level for a long time. He needed to rely on the source of transcendence to change to other upgrade systems, but for Shiyu, if you find any errors, ads pop-up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1635, Chapter 1635, Breaking the Divine Level Limit, 4. Chapter 1635, Breaking the Divine Level Limit, 4. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Could this be the new domain that might exist above the divine level that Senior Emperor Shi mentioned? The realm after breaking through the limit of the divine level? The Space Emperor pondered. At this moment, the prediction owl, Lin Feng, Emperor Wu, and the others also arrived. Even the 5 super divine beings on Blue Planet, far away in their own world, were attracted by the commotion in the floating realm and descended. When they saw the phenomenon of the 11 heavenly layers behind Shiyu, they also revealed shocked expressions to different degrees. Sorry to disturb everyone. There was an accident during my cultivation. It's all right, it's all right. At this moment, Shiyu laughed and scratched his head. This isn't a surprise. You've cultivated to the 11th layer? The Dragon Super Divine said in shock. Holy Sha *T. Lin Feng was uncultured. What was this? Did the 10th layer crack or something? Isn't the divine level only at the 10th level? Emperor Wu, the Empress, the Dragon Emperor, and the others clearly had already understood the profundity of the divine level. Shiyu, this kid, indeed didn't make sense. Now, they seemed to understand why Shiyu could defeat a super divine above his level. You broke the limit? Lu Qingyi smiled and looked at Shiyu. She quickly understood what was going on. Being happy for Shiyu didn't look like a bad thing. Could this be? The prediction owl also fell into deep thought. Seniors, the 5 divine races have a long inheritance. Do you know anything? The Space Emperor asked the 5 super divine races. Although the overall strength of the 5 divine races was low, to be able to be passed down for so long and be knowledgeable, it was definitely not something he and Lin Feng could compare to. The knowledge he had accumulated might not even be comparable to the Blue Planet's will and Emperor Shi. There are some records in the race, but not many. It seems that there are indeed legends of realms above the 10th level of the divine level. However, because the 5 divine races aren't mainly humans, I don't know much, the Kirin race is super divine said. Didn't Emperor Shi also guess previously that there are still divine-level new realms after humans reach the peak of the human divine level? This, the Space Emperor was speechless. He naturally knew this. He looked at Teacher 2Na. Don't ask me. The astrologer race fell into dire straits once tens of thousands of years ago and lost a large amount of information. The owl girl shrugged and said, however, according to what I've understood recently, I can roughly deduce it. Now that Susu is an epoch god, the feedback Shiyu obtained from it must be very strong. Since there are relevant records in the 5 divine races, it means that there must be beast tamers who have reached this realm. As for why everyone has rarely heard of it, it might be because they don't have any special circumstances and basically don't appear in the world. As an outstanding figure at the divine level, they must be waiting for the source of transcendence that's born every 100,000 years. Under normal circumstances, in order to preserve its power, it's definitely safer to sleep and seal itself. From the looks of it, apart from preserving its power and delaying its lifespan, there might be another reason why it sleeps and seals itself. That is, dodging the lightning tribulation, the owl said. After breaking through the limit of a certain realm, you might encounter the backlash of the cosmic will and be entangled by the lightning tribulation. With the commotion of that lightning tribulation just now, Shiyu can withstand it, but if it were other beast tamers, even if the other party has also cultivated an epoch god, it's not that easy to block. The corners of Shiyu's mouth twitched. You mean that this lightning tribulation will still come after? The owl blinked and said, don't know either. But I'll call my brother to help you predict it later. Shiyu was speechless. Damn! In the future, who could withstand being struck by lightning every day? From the looks of it, the work of adding points to 11 had to be increased. Otherwise, blocking the lightning tribulation would consume another lot of energy, but if these lightning tribulations could be fed to 11, it wouldn't be a loss. Shiyu had decided on 11. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1636, Chapter 1636, Fan Behavior, Zeve paid the money, 1. Chapter 1636, Fan Behavior, Zeve paid the money, 1. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Sigh, I wonder if it's luck or bad luck, Shiyu said. Speaking of which, 100,000 years isn't too long for the 5 divine races. Have the 5 divine races never participated in a competition for the source of transcendence? A human who cultivated to the 11th heavenly layer hasn't participated before? The 5 super divine ancestors looked at each other with awkward expressions. What a joke! At that time, it was the super divine Azura, the super divine meat grinder. Although it was mainly a divine level competition for the source of transcendence, at least 10 super divines would die every time. How could they dare? The super divines who died were basically the guardians of those divine level geniuses. The 5 of them clearly wouldn't sacrifice themselves for the path of the geniuses in their race. Every time the source of transcendence was born, the 5 divine races would immediately enter seclusion to seal the world. It could be said that every 100,000 years, the super divine factions would reshuffle. Shiyu looked at their expressions and knew that it was a wasted question. As expected, this kind of thing still had to be asked by a super divine like Goddess Wa who had been in the universe for a long time. Shiyu, is there any special change in the 11th level? Lin Feng asked curiously. He was now at the 10th level. He didn't know if there was any hope of reaching the 11th level like Shiyu. He felt that Shiyu was so cool. Changes? I don't think so. It's just the enhancement that can be obtained from a normal breakthrough, Shiyu said. So lackluster? Lin Feng was stunned. It's not exactly lackluster. Shiyu smiled. He felt that with his enhancement, 11 and the others, who were high-level divines and didn't add much points, could fight a perfect divine. This was the power of beast-taming levels increasing and beast-tamers and pets cooperating. Shiyu looked at everyone. Seniors, now isn't the time to stay with me, right? Isn't the commotion very big this time? Don't you need to help eliminate the impact? As Shiyu finished speaking, the super divines fell silent. It's good that you're fine. Emperor Wu was also stunned and shook his head. All right, he felt a difference in his heart when he saw Shiyu. It was better to concentrate on the god-sealing battle. 2 days after Shiyu broke through to the 11th heavenly layer, Shiyu finally recovered. On this day, the prediction owl finally sent Shiyu some useful news. Shiyu, through the channels of the astrologer race, I've already asked about what needs to be asked for you. Teacher 2NA flew over to the lightning avoidance mystic realm that Shiyu had already rebuilt. She landed on the ground and looked at Shiyu, who was lazing around. What? Shiyu's center of gravity tilted. He stood up and said, let's talk about whether it's a good thing or a bad thing first. A good thing, the owl said. Apart from premonition, my brother also visited an ancient race. This race was on good terms with the astrologer race a long time ago and obtained some inside information from them. Of course, my brother didn't mention anything about you. Okay. Shiyu nodded. In the universe, there are indeed a portion of human geniuses who broke through the restrictions of the 10th level of the divine level and reached the 11th level. There are even some terrifying guys who have reached the 11th level. These people all have one specific thing: their pets have reached the Epoch God level. An Epoch God is already strong enough. If there's still a Beast Tamer's enhancement, what will happen? It's considered a trick for humans and Beast Tamers to cooperate. This might also be a restriction of the cosmic will on humans after breaking through a certain limit. I guess the reason why such Beast Tamers are restricted is very likely because they took the right path. This has a chance of reaching the cosmic level. Didn't we predict how you would reach the cosmic level previously? It's contracting a cosmic level at the super divine level, right? Under normal circumstances, divine levels naturally can't contract super divines above their level, and super divines naturally can't contract a cosmic level above their level, even if they reach the theoretical peak of their current realm. But if, like this 11th heavenly levels, the limit of the level can also be broken multiple times, then maybe it's possible. You've already broken the limit at the divine level. When you reach the super divine level, if you break the limit again and fight a few more times, you might really be able to contract a cosmic level at the super divine level. Is that so? Shiyu said, indeed, I feel that the beast taming space of the 11th heavenly layer has a greater bearing on pets. Of course, there should still be a gap between it and contracting a super divine above its level. The owl said. In addition, just as I predicted, this kind of lightning tribulation will still appear frequently in the future, but the good news is that it will only descend once in 100 years. Although it will be stronger at that time, we can avoid it through some special methods. If you want this kind of evasion method, we can also think of a way. It should be a way to seal oneself and let one sleep, Shiyu said. It's indeed good news. It only descended once in 100 years. There's no need to think about something so far away now. Don't worry about it. For you, 100 years is indeed a little far. Let's talk about it when the time comes. The owl nodded. However, I'm not done. Apart from automatically descending once every 100 years, every time you open up a new world, which is to try to break through the limit the next time and reach the 12th heavenly layer of the divine level, the lightning tribulation will still descend. There's no way to dodge. Moreover, it's best not to try to resist with external forces. You can only let pets with contracts with space resist. Otherwise, the power of the lightning tribulation will be stronger. Shiyu? F*CK, now that it was mentioned, how could Shiyu dare to continue adding points to his pet? All right, I'll remember that. Shiyu nodded. He understood. Next, he would crazily replicate skills that countered lightning. Speaking of which, what's the background of the race Patriarch 2-2 visited? Shiyu asked. Teacher 2NA said, they've experienced the battle to transcend the origin many times. They're a large race with rich foundations. My brother guesses that there should be sleeping epoch gods in their race or divine level beast tamers who have broken through the limit. My brother also said that if Shiyu wants to participate in the competition to transcend the origin in the future, you have to tell him hundreds of years in advance and let him prepare well. That's my suggestion too. This matter does seem to be dangerous. Teacher Owl was serious. Shiyu was speechless. Come on, the last time the universe naturally gave birth to the source of transcendence was 80,000 years ago. In other words, a new universe transcendent source will only be born about 20,000 years later. 20,000 years, the flowers have withered. Shiyu didn't expect to obtain a transcendent origin in this space and time. Not necessarily. Although transcendent origins are born every 100,000 years, and this is a natural law, there are still some lives in the universe who have the ability to affect these natural laws, the owl said. For example, the 5 cosmic levels have the ability to do it. For example, the power of the star prayer race and the astrologer race. The owl chuckled. Shiyu? Really? Shiyu was shocked. The astrologer race and the star prayer race have the ability to compare to the 5 major cosmic levels? The owl said that the 5 cosmic levels could change the laws of the universe and let the source of transcendence condense in advance. Shiyu believed it. However, weren't the astrologer race and the star prayer race only races born on World King Planet? Although the power source of these 2 races was indeed quite related to the planet and the universe. Don't underestimate our 2 races. Back then, at the divine level, I predicted 5 existences with the source of transcendence, although I didn't obtain them. In short, it's naturally true, but it's very difficult. It's very difficult for us to do it now. The owl shrugged and said, if that cat and one can become peak super divines, perhaps we can do it together. Shiyu? I'll think 20,000 years might come faster, Shiyu said. Woo, heartless, the owl girl said. When do you plan to set off for the Cosmic Overlord army? In a few months, Shiyu said. After the God-sealing battle ends, I'll go to Blue Planet to explore the ruins of that era. Then, I'll cultivate for a period of time. I think it's about time before going to the Cosmic Overlord army. Sure, don't forget to call me when the time comes, the owl said. Don't worry, one won't forget, Shiyu said. After the owl brought Shiyu a lot of useful information, it left. As for Shiyu himself, he temporarily gave up on adding points. He packed up and planned to leave. It wasn't to return to Blue Planet to explore the ruins of Caillou and Yellow Emperor, but to head to the Central Realm. In the last God-sealing battle, he had recorded many rare skills. Unfortunately, due to the number and form of the skill column, he didn't have time to replicate them. But now, after contracting Beast Shiyu and adding points to the divine skill to Transcendence to delete it, Shiyu's skill column was much richer. For example, Shiyu had been envious of the Zeve Crow's time reversal, time acceleration, and time stop for a long time. He had to replicate it this time. In the Central Realm, World King City. After Zeve had just experienced a battle without any suspense, it left the battle facility in a flash, planning to return to its residence. However, its expression suddenly froze. It looked at the figure that suddenly appeared in midair and stopped it. It's you. Upon seeing this figure, Zeve was shocked and revealed an incredulous expression. Who else could it be but Shiyu, who was blocking in front of it? Apart from Shiyu, there was also that hateful bear. Woo woo woo. 11 stood on Shiyu's shoulder and waved at Zeve. Long time no see. Zeve. Shiyu smiled at Zeve and said, I'm here. You're here? What's the matter? Zeve was silent. What is it? Shiyu said, a few days ago, I received a letter. The owner of the letter claims to be your fan. He said that after you lost the last time, he was very unconvinced and wanted to fight me again. He worked hard for a year. I saw that your fan was more sincere, so I came over personally, planning to fight you again. Of course, we've all broken through to the divine level now. One don't know what your fan was thinking, but in order to satisfy his wish, I can suppress my level to that of a quasi-divine. Zeve was stunned. Really? What was this? Why didn't it remember that it had such a fan who deserved a beating? It looked at Shiyu, who had already successfully hunted a super divine in front of it, and was stunned. It felt that it was sitting at home, and a pot had come from the sky. Zeve also had to pay for the behavior of its fans? If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1637, Chapter 1637, Skill of Blue Planet's Will, 1. Chapter 1637, Skill of Blue Planet's Will, 1. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. World King City. Under Shiyu's warm heart, he and Zhevei engaged in a guidance battle. Zhevei couldn't persuade Shiyu, so he silently ordered Baby Ginseng, wanting to compete with the previous champion. Firstly, Baby Ginseng was very strong, and secondly, Baby Ginseng had also mastered the time mark and was also a time element. Fighting Baby Ginseng might yield greater gains. This made Baby Ginseng very happy. After all, Zhevei had been eliminated by 11 in the first round. It had yet to use the pile of anti-Zhevei energy fruits it had prepared for Zhevei. This battle finally didn't make Baby Ginseng's efforts useless. Of course, this guidance battle was also to stop when it was time. After all, Zhevei still had to keep his physical fitness and time mark to prepare for the next God-sealing battle. What's this? What's this? Did it really suppress its level? Really? Throughout the whole process, under Zhevei's surprise, Shiyu left in satisfaction. He left with the 4 skills, leaving behind a lying Zhevei. These 4 skills were time acceleration, time deceleration, time reversal, and time stop. For pure time element domain skills. Let me see. After leaving, Shiyu immediately checked the compatibility of the 4 time skills and his pets. His will first locked onto 11 in the beast taming space. 11 was naturally not compatible at all. However, Shiyu didn't expect it to be compatible. Woo woo woo. 11 was furious. Time element skill. How aloof but impressive. It could already think and react faster than time. Next, 11 planned to train its body to exceed time. Gee. Buggy couldn't either. Shiyu skipped it. In the end, Shiyu looked at Baby Ginseng, who had just entered. Oh? Shiyu realized that he couldn't teach Baby Ginseng either. Obviously, there was no compatibility. Thinking about it carefully, it made sense. The time skills mastered by Baby Ginseng were all related to wood. They were purely time element skills, but they had never been mastered. Yi? Baby Ginseng sighed and lowered its head slightly, its green eyes revealing a depressed expression. After working for so long, it actually couldn't learn it. Damn it. No. It wanted to study it. It wanted to evolve. Damn. Initially, Shiyu didn't have much hope. Ling, who had modified itself on its own and learned future prediction, couldn't control these skills either. However, when Shiyu looked at Qi, an accident happened. In theory, Qi, who couldn't learn any skills other than space-time travel, actually had a compatibility with these 4 skills. Mimi? In the beast-taming space, Qi raised its head, its eyes filled with hope. Could it be? Maybe. Have you tried to learn similar skills like time deceleration and time reversal previously? Shiyu asked Qi. Yes, Qi said. I once tried to learn on my own, but I didn't succeed. Didn't succeed? Perhaps it wasn't time yet. Perhaps you can master such a pure time element skill. Shiyu fell into deep thought and said, You're already different from before. It's like a newborn tiger. It's very difficult to master fierce hunting skills, but when it reaches adulthood and learns those hunting skills, it'll be good at it. After your space-time travel reaches the perfect level, you'll actually be considered a complete body in the true sense of the word. Perhaps, you've already undergone some changes and can learn some other skills that aren't too overboard. Of course, although these skills are also very overboard, compared to your time sprite identity, they're not too overboard. Is that so? Qi's eyes lit up. Then next, can I learn more and more skills? Shiyu smiled and said, from the looks of it, the skills that can be learned are mostly external skills and basic time transformation skills. In short, it's good that someone can learn the new skill replicated. I'll teach it to you later. You can slowly study the rest. Yay tilde tilde, Qi said happily. Qi could learn new skills again. The other pets also smiled. This little guy had yet to realize anything, right? Although Chi's space-time travel was an indispensable skill in the team, it was very rare for Shiyu and the others to use it. However, when Chi learned the 4-time skills, it would be different. Yi, Ning, Baby Ginseng and Susu looked at Chi's happy expression and knew in their hearts that in the future, when Shiyu added points, they could give a portion of their work to Chi. Wasn't time reversal also a proper support skill? It could directly reverse Shiyu's fatigue state to a period of time ago. It could even rewind their consumption to a period of time ago. Yi, good gardener. Baby Ginseng nodded. Apart from that, the time acceleration and the other skills could also be used to assist it in cultivating various fruits. Some fruits, even if they were nutritious enough, had its would control to accelerate their ripening. The growth period was still very long. Apart from Buggy, there was another helper. Obviously, the way many pets looked at Chi had changed. The young pets were still immersed in the joy of learning new skills. The mature pets were already thinking of ways to squeeze the labor of their teammates at the greatest value to make themselves stronger and easier. Next, Shiyu originally wanted to stay in World King City and replicate the last skill. However, he had yet to choose what this skill was. As Shiyu strolled around, his Realm Lord token sounded again. So it was someone from the Battle Merits Bureau. If you find any errors, ads pop-up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1638, Chapter 1638, Skill of Blue Planet's Will, 2. Chapter 1638, Skill of Blue Planet's Will, 2. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Realm Lord Shiyu, your lucky star and pseudo-source of transcendence are ready. We expect to reach the Dong Huang realm in a day. Are you in your own realm? Are we leaving now? Shiyu held the token in front of his face with 2 fingers on his right hand and squatted on a tall building to look at it. Not yet. The resources are still in World King City. There's no need to send it. Give me a spot. I'll go get it myself. At the moment. I'm also in World King City, Shiyu said. The other party was clearly surprised before telling Shiyu a location. Soon, Shiyu obtained the resources exchanged for the battle merits he had accumulated in the contaminated land. Among them, the most important star of luck was stored in a transparent bottle that was like the starry sky. It was the only star floating inside. Obviously, the way the World King planet stored stars was different from that of the Cosmic Overlord army. This star was golden. Shiyu sensed it and discovered that although the planet was lifeless, there were several dragon veins of luck inside. The most powerful dragon vein of luck was very high level and didn't have a physical body. If Shiyu hadn't contracted Ling, he wouldn't have been able to sense it. Shiyu could confirm that most of the dragon veins of luck in first-level realms on World King Planet weren't as strong as this lucky star's dragon vein of luck. Of course, Shiyu only took a look before throwing the star bottle to Ling. He planned to let it find an opportunity to refine it after returning to Blue Planet. Then, Shiyu planned to search for prey in World King City. There were a bunch of good skills here, but he couldn't replicate all of them. He needed to choose according to the current situation. The difficulty of choosing really relapsed. During the search, Shiyu didn't forget to watch the God-Sealing battle. It had to be said that the 3 emperors were too strong now. Their strength should only be 1 level inferior to that of Shiyu back then. They had completely reached the level of Zivei and Ming Jiyu. Apart from that, it was Senior Lu. Apart from the 3 emperors, Senior Lu could be said to be the greatest dark horse in this year's God-Sealing battle. Her limelight was close to the 3 emperors. She had more skills than pets. With the support of various skills, she could only last a few minutes when she encountered the top 50 of the previous batch. He also obtained the terrifying nickname Black-Clothed Lu because his battle style was special and his attacks were too dark. Moreover, he was wearing a black trench coat. This nickname made Senior Lu want to kill the people who called him names randomly. Blue Planet, Inatella. At this moment, the Gemcat girl was still refining the source of transcendence under the protection of the blue planet's will. Advancing on its mother planet, be it for itself or its mother planet, had a certain number of benefits. A planet was equivalent to a beast tamer, and the lives inside were equivalent to pets. When the Gemcat advanced to Super Divine, Blue Planet would also receive a lot of feedback. Therefore, the Gemcat decisively chose to return to Blue Planet to break through. Things change. At that moment, the World Tree clone standing at the top of the mountain looked at the Gemcat girl and shook its head. If it were a few months ago, it wouldn't believe that this cat would be the next to advance to Super Divine. The cat was clearly still a hooligan previously, but now, its status had leaped to the same level as Blue Planet. This was too strange. At this moment, the Blue Planet's will and the World Tree also knew Xiyu, the Gemcat, and the others' gains from this trip to the contaminated land. Just one word. Ridiculous. Lord Mother Goddess, I knew it. Xiyu and the others are fine. This is too awesome, the World Tree muttered. He went out and obtained a Super Divine. Wasn't this awesome? At this moment, a blue figure appeared beside her, scaring it. Mother Goddess? Blue Planet's will appeared and looked at the World Tree clone. Inform Xiyu and the others. Blue Planet has been targeted. A Super Divine expert with extraordinary strength is approaching Blue Planet. His strength is conservatively estimated to be above the Transcendent 4. From the power source, it's suspected to be from the same source as the Abyss race. Perhaps it's because Xiyu set off from Blue Planet and even destroyed an Abyss Super Divine, causing Blue Planet to be discovered by the Dark King. Army. World Tree clone? What? It was shocked and wanted to take back its words. Xiyu was awesome, but why did he provoke the enemy to its house? This awesome direction was a little wrong. It couldn't help but look like it was about to cry. It quickly contacted Xiyu, the Space Emperor, and the others far away on World King Planet. At this moment, Blue Planet's will also left Blue Planet and flew in the starry sky, staring into the distance. Soon after, in the distant starry sky, a Super Divine Flame Race member flying in the universe suddenly swayed, as if it had encountered a terrifying guy. It turned and left. Something happened to Blue Planet. At this moment, before the God-sealing battle ended, Dong Huang and the other three had already displayed their aptitude in the top 10. However, at this moment, a message from Blue Planet made Xiyu suddenly put down what he was doing and go to Blue Planet with the Space Emperor. Blue Planet, Inatella. After Xiyu and the Space Emperor returned through the permanent teleportation array, the World Tree heaved a sigh of relief when it saw Xiyu and the Space Emperor return. What happened to summon us in such a hurry? Xiyu and the Space Emperor sensed it, but didn't sense anything unusual about the current Blue Planet. Mother Goddess sensed that she had been locked onto by a Super Divine level life form. Moreover, the other party's aura seems to be from the Abyss race. The World Tree said, now, it shouldn't be close to Blue Planet yet, but soon. The other party is very strong, suspected to be above the Transcendent 4. Did you call Emperor Shi? Xiyu said. Although Emperor Shi had disappeared again, before he left behind many mysterious rocks, saying that if there was an emergency and he crushed the rocks, he could immediately rush back. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1639, Chapter 1639, Skill of Blue Planet's Will, 3. Chapter 1639, Skill of Blue Planet's Will, 3. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Not yet. The World Tree clone shook its head. There's no need to worry too much, Xiyu said. If it's the Abyss race, I'll be fine since 11M here. That's right. The Space Emperor nodded, but he was still a little worried. After all, he had just advanced to the Super Divine level, and his battle power was at most on par with those 5 guys. However, just as Xiyu and the Space Emperor were prepared for battle, a voice directly made them speechless. All right, the crisis has been resolved. At this moment, blue planets will condensed and appeared in Inatella again. It's been resolved? Didn't they say that a super divine was approaching? Shiyu asked. Blue planets will said, that's indeed the case, but one called you back just in case. My will condensed and gave the other party a warning from afar. The other party left directly. The battle of the super divine is very important. Even if it's an enemy relationship, as long as one isn't 100% confident, they usually won't carry it out easily. It's good that you're fine. The Space Emperor heaved a sigh of relief. Emperor Shah had handed Blue Planet to him to protect. If something transcendent happened, he really didn't know what to do. Although he didn't even see the enemy, the Space Emperor broke out in cold sweat. The corners of his mouth twitched as he looked at Shiyu, who didn't take it seriously. This super divine was most likely summoned by Shiyu. Probably because of Benos' death, the other super divines of the Dark King army came to take a look at the situation here. Damn it, the source of transcendence was scared away. Blue Planet and the Space Emperor? Forget it. Although the enemy has left, let's stay on Blue Planet next. It's safer, Shiyu said. Perhaps it will return. Yes, I have the same intention. Although I can also fight, if I fight, one won't be able to protect the lives on the planet with all my might. It's very difficult to do both, so I still have to rely on you, the Blue Planets will said. Oh? At this moment, Shiyu was slightly stunned, as if he had finally thought of something. He suddenly looked at the Blue Planet's will, his gaze making the Blue Planet's will very uncomfortable. I've decided. After Shiyu made a choice, he finally decided what to replicate with the fifth skill. He wanted to teach Little Z an attack skill. He shouldn't look for the participants of the World King Star. Although there were also third-level realm lords among the participants of the God-Sealing battle who had contracted stars that mastered the power of attack, Shiyu didn't fancy ordinary attack skills either. They weren't suitable for Little Z. He didn't even fancy what the Space Emperor's floating planet had mastered. There weren't many powerful planets, but Shiyu happened to be able to find a suitable one now. That was Blue Planet. After all, it was the reincarnation of a cosmic-level star. It definitely had many trump cards. Otherwise, it would have been impossible for it to resist the three super divines at the peak of the divine level. Lord Blue Planet, you're free anyway. Why don't you help me take care of the baby? Speaking of which, this guy can be considered half your daughter. After it's stronger, it can guard you like a satellite. Shiyu stretched out his hand and summoned the purple-white rice ball. When Little Z saw the World Tree and the Blue Planet's will, it immediately revealed a friendly gaze. After all, it was born through the branch liquid of Blue Planet. Am I? Little Z acknowledged its kin. After I became the Realm Lord of the World King Planet, I originally wanted to find some suitable star attack skills to give to it, but those that are publicly given to the Realm Lord are too ordinary. Space Emperor, indeed. Do you have any suitable divine powers to teach it? Shiyu said. The World Tree and Blue Planet's will were silent. So that was the case. If I remember correctly, you also contracted a star, right? Blue Planet's will looked at the Space Emperor and said, how about this? I'll teach them the same skill, but I can't guarantee that they can learn this skill. This skill is the skill that scared away that super divine just now. It's also a skill that allows Blue Planet to withstand the invasion war. Thank you, Mother Goddess. The Space Emperor felt pleasantly surprised. Blue Planet was now a super divine planet. In her previous life, it was suspected to be a cosmic-level star. The skills she comprehended were definitely not weak. Great, Shiyu said. Blue Planet's will looked at the sky and said, this skill is called the Star Contract. It's actually very similar to the beast-taming contract of humans. Star Contract. The Space Emperor pondered for a moment and confirmed that he had never heard of this skill in the Cosmic Sea. This should be a skill that belonged to Blue Planet alone. Well, I can actually sign a contract with other lives like human beast tamers. However, after signing the contract, the one summoned isn't the lifeform's main body. On the other hand, I can materialize the power projection of my contractor by consuming the power of the world. The projection conjured depends on the power of the world consumed. It has strength close to, comparable to, or exceeds the main body. It's not afraid of death and doesn't have the concept of life and death. Just now, one summoned the projections of Emperor Shu, the super divines of the 5 divine races, and the others, and added my own power to scare the other party away. Back then, Blue Planet could resist the 3 super divine invaders because the perfect gods of Blue Planet had made a star contract with me. As long as I consumed the power of the world at all costs, I could summon their immortal power projections. This skill once brought quite a lot of trouble to the 3 invaders. When the Blue Planets were finished speaking, Shi Yu and the Space Emperor were stunned. Shi Yu said, "When did you contract with Emperor Shu and the others?" "Why didn't I know?" If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1640, Chapter 1640, Skill of Blue Planet's Will, 4. Chapter 1640, Skill of Blue Planet's Will, 4. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Emperor Kong said, L. Why didn't it contract with him? Did it look down on his power projection? Blue Planet's Will shook its head and said, there are some restrictions to the star contract. For example, the upper limit of the number of contracts is 10. At that time, you had yet to grow to Super Divine Battle Power 0. Do you want to learn it? Mimi. Learn. Little Z's eyes lit up. What kind of abnormal skill was this? Little Z had already started to imagine summoning their power projections to fight after signing a contract with 11, Buggy, and Baby Ginseng. She, Little Z, was known as Little Shi Yu. It's very similar to phantom illusions. Shi Yu also fell into deep thought. However, it should be higher than the upper limit of phantom illusions. At this moment, the Space Emperor clearly realized the power of this skill. He took a deep breath and nodded heavily. Then, the Space Emperor first ran back to the World King planet and retracted the floating planet outside the World King planet. He returned to Blue Planet and released the floating planet outside Blue Planet. Shi Yu also temporarily entrusted Little Z to the Blue Planet's Will to let Little Z learn the star contract skill in peace. This skill was undoubtedly an attack skill. It looked like a contract, but on the outside, it was written in a distorted manner, pulling external help plus group fight plus cheating. Apart from Little Z who wanted to learn, Shi Yu also let Ling out and let it refine the lucky star. Apart from that, Susu originally wanted to learn Cold Silence, but because he was worried that the enemy of the Dark King army would attack again, Shi Yu didn't let it learn for the time being. Skill, Cold Silence. Learning method, it has an ice element and time element physique. Through refining a star, it will refine a star that has been corroded by Cold Silence and contains the power of Cold Silence into a resource that is compatible with it. Then, through Infinite Devour, it will devour this resource. During the digestion process, there is a chance of successfully comprehending it. The success rate of learning depends on the user's talent and comprehension. In fact, when Shi Yu was exchanging the ice and snow stars that had been corroded by the Cold Silence disaster, he had yet to use the index to deduce the learning method of Cold Silence. Refining the Cold Silence star and planning to let Susu evolve through the Infinite Devour and combine it with the upgrade skill of the Heavenly Frost Cold Energy was all Shi Yu's own speculation. To Shi Yu's surprise, the method deduced by the index was the same as his deduction. This made Shi Yu feel helpless. He felt that he had wasted his physical strength for no reason. In this learning method, Shi Yu estimated that the process of devouring the planet would definitely consume a lot of time. After all, the target of Devour was a divine-level star, so the current situation wasn't suitable for Susu to devour and sleep. It would be bad if the enemy attacked while she was sleeping. Of course, Shi Yu had also thought of a way to shorten the time. That was to increase the proficiency of Star Refinement, Infinite Devour, and Heavenly Frost Cold Energy. However, this kind of thing wasn't urgent. At the moment, there were more important things to do on Blue Planet. Apart from Shi Yu and the Space Emperor, who came immediately, the Super Divines of the Dark King Army also descended on Blue Planet one by one. After understanding the situation a little, the Phoenix Ray Super Divine said, "Why don't Blue Planets start moving? It's still not as safe as in the Cosmic Sea in this border area." The Dragon Super Divine said, "That's right. Blue Planet is in a period of high-speed development. After the development stabilizes and the speed decreases, it's not too late to leave the Cosmic Sea and go to the undeveloped star area to collect resources. Soon, they also plan to return to Blue Planet to cultivate in seclusion. Who could withstand Super Divine attacks at every turn?" "We agree too." Emperor Kong and Shi Yu had no objections. The current Blue Planet wasn't in urgent need of resources to develop and had no choice but to open up its own territory. Only by developing steadily in the Cosmic Sea could the benefits be maximized. "All right, the Cosmic Sea?" Blue Planets will look at the starry sky, looking forward to meeting other high-level stars and even the World King Planet. Cosmic Sea. However, there's no hurry to set off. Wait another month. Shi Yu laughed and scratched his head. "I'll still have something to do in this star domain. Don't tell me you want to wait for that Super Divine to come again and detonate the source of transcendence." The Space Emperor was silent. "How could this be? It's a ruin, a ruin." Before leaving, Shi Yu had a place he had to go to. It was the Kaiyu ruins that Goddess Wa mentioned. If Blue Planet left the existing coordinates and he couldn't enter the Era ruins, Shi Yu would have nowhere to cry. Therefore, after preparing, Shi Yu arrived at the coordinates Goddess Wa mentioned. Dong Huang Continent, Divine Capital. Buggy had evolved into the Butterfly of Imagination and participated in the Butterfly meeting. He realized that the location of the Kaiyu ruins was coincidentally in the crowded Divine Capital University. This was troublesome. From the looks of it, the ancient word similar to an ancient language on Earth discovered in the ancient capital should have been circulated from other era ruins. When Shi Yu walked into Divine Capital University, it was noon. If you find any errors, ads pop-up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible.